the right foot because Minnesota so far infamously in map number 1 are sitting at 2 and 9. You need to turn it around here.
Well, get that sip of coffee, all you United States North Americans. Get a sip of something else if you're here in Madrid. We're jumping on in. The red card, Hardpoint. Let's get it on.
Already into the mix fest here at P1. See that Rocker putting a lot more focus though on the outside towards hedges. That's where you want to control for a majority of this map. Gio finds a double. Pollux with the third. Now we're just soaking up time.
Oh, this is just another little confidence move here from Sid. Tagged up, but still wants to take this gunfight versus Gio. Backs him down. A chance for Mac to get into the picture now as Cloud9 starts to posture forwards. Gio still tagged on the corner. Here comes the repinch over to the middle of the map. Not quite able to get into the hard point yet, but Cloud9 are making some moves to controlling that outside staircase.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're just finessing with their lives, and that's leading to freebies on the outskirts of the map. 3-for-1 trade. Kremp trying to at least alleviate a little bit of that pressure towards P1, but 5 seconds. You want to start the fight for outside and think about that rotation to do. Currently going to have Rocker winning the rotation with one player already in towards the point, and look at those spawns for Cloud9. You don't want to be in towards the back.
Yeah, they have to fight from the interior out towards this stage position. Lots of covered 1v1s, and it goes back and forth at least initially. Paul, great start for him. He's off to 5 and 1. Now we're going to be able to contest the hard point, able to track down Sip, and then one more up top. Nice start from Paul, working for a potential Hellstorm.
Now you heard the Death touch on it, most specifically Naaman said, I need Paul Lex to turn up. And a 7-1 start is exactly what we were looking for. They're still holding down this P2. They are holding down the ankles as well on the players from Cloud9, trying to set up these pinches, trading effectively, and still consistently soaking his time.
Yeah, nice double here from Kremp, though. Gives an opportunity for Cloud9 to move their way right back into the hard point. But again, like you mentioned, a great start for Minnesota. 50 points for the first 2 hills. Scrap time largely focused on by Cloud9. Good win from Kremp outside, and that gives them a chance to also try to dominate on this rotation.
Yeah, but those spawns start to flip out now for Cloud9. Last player alive in that position was Kremp. He falls. Now everyone's spawning behind old P2. Rotation going to be won by Minnesota Rocker. Both teams tend to struggle in that aspect. 9th and 10th overall in the league, but Minnesota with 3 rotation ones in a row.
This is a hard point where we've seen Minnesota turn up late into the game. Can they kick things off a little bit stronger here off the get-go? So far, so good. 2-for-1 the exchange. Sib up top, gonna have some control over the top side of Eskies, but has to work his way in. A little bit of focus through the street side. That's largely being handled by Minnesota, so now they can keep their eyes up. Sib trying to swap over to an SMG, not gonna work out, and his back drops. The last effort comes, by the way, of Kremp, and he will also drop. Attached in the hard point for a moment, but Minnesota's still spawning close.
Yeah, Minnesota's still close. They're gonna give this one more push. Still a 30-point difference. You know that P4 is going to be over towards stage. That is basically a money hill if you can win that rotation over there. But 2-2 split. Mac flies on in for potentially the final 20. Every single player from Minnesota spawned across the map. So now we're basically going to have a tie game.
Sip, SMG in hand. Try to rotate early through ticket. Shut down by Gio. Mac the next one up. Already tagged. Does he get an angle here though? Oh, he sure did, but immediately traded by Paul. Attach the next one forward. Lots of SMG action here for Cloud9, just trying to stretch across the map. Attach is the only one to really be able to get towards the mid, though. This is all about what can Cloud9 do to try to help him out. And while he may not need it, he finds himself a kill, and that will move the spawns around.
Yeah, he finds a kill, but everyone in his team all falls at the same time. So you have to slow it down now. Start to develop on a route. Attach tries to re-pinch over through stage. He gets taken care of, and now all of Cloud9 forced to try to break over through soccer. Big kill for Mac, though, to open up with that pinch.
Yeah, nice little surrounding play starting to come through. New York trying to get back over to the hard point as Estriel just underneath the stage, and he's holding his own at the moment. Pistol out. He's ever taken care of 2. Still another along the outside of the hill. Help is on the way here, though. And Estriel staying safe. He's not getting tagged. Pistol still working out for Estriel. One more on the corner. Estriel for the double. 5 in a row. Now off the reload. Shut down eventually as New York find 3 straight kills and they'll get in the hill for
Yeah,
the
he
scrap.
should have just kept the pistol out. He was able to find 4 in a row. Some great shots there and a lot of time at P4. So a nice little 20-point lead. As you win another rotation, this time over towards P5. You had Gio contesting in towards mid-ticket. But you want to try to flip them, though. You want Cloud9 to swan over towards Eskies. It makes it a lot easier to soak up time here.
Opening battle, rages.
Whoa, my!
Estriel keeping the hot hand as he jumps back into the hard point here on the 5th. Attach shutting it down, though. Nice double from him. Gives a chance for Cloud9 to come off that left side spawn and try to get here a little bit faster than some of the Minnesota reinforcements, and Mac will take advantage of that. 2 kills come through. Sid trying to carve over towards the backside of the executive box, and that's enough for Cloud9 to get in for some time.
Yeah, Mac just flies in and finds 3. And the multi-kill from the Godheady. With that jacket in hand, you probably prefer an AR, but the guy is not missing bullets. Turns around, almost catches the timing there onto Gio, but the break is going to be there for Minnesota Rocker, potentially for the final 20. Cloud9. In the second half of the game, we need to dominate more over towards Hedge, because that was Minnesota all throughout that first rotation.
Now, Tash surprise from behind, still to get some shots in, makes life easier for Sid. One more to find, and that's a clean wipe there for Cloud9. So the scrap time goes their direction. right around a 15-point game as we rotate back, which, considering the start, not bad news for Cloud9 as Minnesota was up about 50 points at one point in time.
Not at all. They were responding blow for blow. It started with the P3, keeping it mixy, kept it mixy at P4, and even that P5 towards the very end. But this is where you can't allow Minnesota Rock to soak up a lot of the time that they did the last go around. 3 kills goes their way. Narrow knows I get this final. We're still going to keep control, so I'll just hop out the hill for now.
Yeah, Cloud9 sending the reinforcements out towards the staircase. Max shut down. Nero waited for the regen. Good look towards Sim, but can't win the battle. Follow-up from Estriel is decent, but Cloud9 will stay in the hard point as Estriel tries to fight for his life.
Yeah, they're trying to isolate onto Estriel, but he's making him work for it. Already finds a double. Now the teammates are here to potentially assist him, but he knows there's still going to be pressure on him. Estriel, the playmaker, furthest Rocker squad on 3 in a row. With this AR in hand, just dominating on the outer edges.
He's just pushing Cloud9 back. They cannot deal with him in any form. Great individual moments from Estriel. Lead goes back up to about 15 points. Cloud9, though, still putting some good focus on the hill itself. Estriel almost a little turn and burn. Not quite able to find the second, leaving Gio a little bit on the island now, playing over towards P2.
Yeah, and I don't know if Gio got the read that the spawns are going to be right behind him. Goes for the slide chow, but Crep gets the better of him, so Cloud9 now, the first team in towards this time at P2.
Messy.
Like you said, it's getting messy. 3 kills go in favor of Rocker. Make it all 4 dead. Cloud9 spawning in the back. Minnesota can run it up.
That's 2 times in a row that we've seen Cloud9 just not be successful towards those top mid stairs on the outside of P1 going to P2, and it's caused this moment where Minnesota just able to find the angles first. Nice little stretch here for the Rocker. 30 seconds to fight for, and as they're trying to deal with Cloud9 spawning on the back, time for us to go over to Minnesota Rocker. Listen in.
Anytime, we on time. At one time.
Weak. I'm always weak. There's no time. Crap maker there.
Mac is one shot. They're gonna be top edge.
Yeah.
I'm rolling.
He's both right side.
And they on time.
Hey, outer too. I got one top. He's outer weak.
Outer one shot. Above you.
Stop. He's on you. He flipped. He's gonna be ambient up there. They're gonna spawn ambient.
Ambi weak. Mac. Low stage. One shot crap. Low stage. He has an AR too. Low stage crack.
Dante weak to an 8 on the time. He went outer. Dante weak outer. Last guy. He's on top now. He's running the back.
Outer. One time. Why is the time?
Okay, I'm tired of that too.
Low stairs, I'm pretty sure.
He's still outer right away.
Running out.
He's outer. He's outer.
2 times. 5 minutes too. Nice. He's top. He's still top. I thought I him for you. Okay, I'm gonna spot. I need close.
Low time. And close. Yes. He's gonna go.
Watch that time. And one's a weak outer.
There's 2 on top.
And 2. One's on the step now.
And out. One more outer Mac.
Alright.
Outer Mac and one downstairs. I'm saying top 3.
Outer Mac. Outer one shot Mac.
Okay.
Honestly, him.
He's still outer?
Yeah.
They can flank. Mac dead.
I saw that.
I grabbed old. He might have 2. I'll get an initial.
Let's do that.
Grab. He might want his 2. I'm
looking at it.
One minus bomb there.
2 headshot. Thanks for 2 of me.
That one to Dante.
Tight game, Minnesota. Still having a little bit of trouble navigating through P4, and that's where Cloud9 has made their comeback happen in their first rotation. With this kill feed, they may do the same thing here again.
Oh yeah, that's a clean 4 dead. Minnesota spawning all at those staircases. You have to find a couple openings. Work your way through top hedge. Mac at least finds the first narrow with the trade. Still going to be a 3v3. The player on Hill's just sitting nice and comfy, just soaking up that time because Cloud9 are right back in this game.
Here comes the hit, though. Paul, Gio working together. Kremp by himself on the interior. A couple attacks come through, but Kremp just holds down the trigger, finds Elimination and combination of Mac. Lead swap. Cloud9 taking their lead back since the first moments of this hard point. Mac trying to zone things to the middle of the map, but shut down by Paul as Minnesota are focused on rotation.
Yeah, big win by Paul, big win by Gio. It's going to give them the numbers off this rotation anew. Sid catches the timing on the first. He knows that someone's going to go for the chow. He's able to catch that double. Now you just want to slow down, wait for your teammates to get close before you attempt this break.
Sib on land, showing up. Mac, double for him. Time for Krep to fly on out. Paul, the last one standing. Mac trying to find the trade. Pistol will work. Estriel, the last word for now, but Sib is quick to get into the hard point. Still, the lead for Cloud9 continues to chip a little bit higher towards that 200-point mark as Sib is 1 away from his 30th elimination.
Yeah, he's been a different player so far here on land. 30 to the name on a 4th streak. Give me number 5.
Wow.
Trying to line up a couple more. Knows that the player's right above him. Yeah, he's a little bit weak. Might as well challenge. Give me number 6. He's absolutely one shot. Cannot finish the kill. And that leads to the break there for Rocker.
Yeah, nice little heroic play from Paul, able to find himself too. Gio finishes off the last. That'll be 10 seconds of scrap time. Looked at Sid, tries to give it a final fight, but doesn't really work out. 198 plays 185. Still about a tie game as you head back to P1. And this is where Minnesota have been very successful. 1-2. Can they win the game here?
Yeah, but Cloud9 last go around said, screw heads control. We're just going to soak up a lot of this time. If you're Rocker, we put a lot of focus on the outskirts, but we need to get in towards the hard point. Because this is how Cloud9 got themselves back into this game. Still an 11-point difference. All out mix fest, trade after trade. But currently Cloud9 have outskirts. Now they just got to get in the hill.
SMGs from Minnesota playing in and around Ticket. Attach trying to come back to the play. Nero off the reject, is trying to hold the angle. Does not see Attach initially, so an opportunity here for Cloud9 with numbers. 3 fall. Gio, the last one left. How much can he do? First one's good. Second one will follow up. Leaves just Crimp by himself. Minnesota trying to work on rotation, but this is a lot of time here for Cloud9 if they continue to let him be in the hill.
Yeah, you got to take out Ticket. You got to push out through Ticket, try to flip these spawns right on back, and 3 kills at the right time go their way. But everybody else from Cloud9 are going to spawn towards bottom Eskies. I don't know if Minnesota are going to be prepared for this.
Yeah.
Going to have one player from Cloud9 early off the rotation, but he's just going to play his life.
Lean into the monitors a little bit more here, friends. We're going to have a photo finish by the look of it. 60 seconds on the game clock. 203 plays 194. Fight for the stage underway. Paul go to the pistol. He's got help on the way. Astro surprised though by Mac quickly into the hard point for Cloud9. Paul wants to take this battle, but can't quite lock down Mac. Mac is still finessing. Into the hard point goes Gio. He's trying to step away. Not going to happen. Cloud9 from the back are going to have the numbers to get into the hill.
It took Mac's double right there to stall time for his teammates to get into the play. The fact that he's able to walk away with 2 when all 3 of his teammates fall around him. Such a great situation to be in is now Cloud9. Brought himself a nice little comfortable lead. Trades are back and forth. Spawns for Minnesota Rocker towards the backside of P2. Don't really want this. You need to get out.
Estriel still hanging on off the regen. Full HP. Nero able to assist, and Estriel now 4 in a row. How about this for Minnesota? A chance to put themselves at a tie game with this remaining scrap time. Cloud9 working on rotation, but they're short-handed with 3 members still spawning behind the old hill.
Yeah, but Attach, if you are attached, to stay alive on this side of the map. Your teammates, you're hoping that they can find a couple kills on the way, because look what it does to the spawns for Rocker.
Yep.
Gonna have 1 player spawn all the way at the old hard point. 2 players now off the rotation.
What a win
out of here.
Estriel finds the first. Slips over, thought he saw the player over on the staircase, but instead tries to go to the mantle. Mac right there to meet him. Paul quickly from underneath, not gonna work out. Cloud9 with numbers. Gio tries to force it, doesn't work out. Cloud9, a late lead swap. 25 seconds is all that either of these 2 teams are gonna need, and Nero opens it up from top third.
It's a big kill. But this is where Cloud9 switches to multiple SMGs here, because they know how aggressive you need to be. 3 go down, make it all 4. Cloud9 are still going to be spawning towards the back. Minnesota got to get a read on it.
Both teams can still win here. A massive map number 1 for both these squads here in the elimination round. New York, 2 eliminations start to come through. Minnesota back in the lead for now. Estriel finessing, trying to find some sort of sanctuary, not allowed to stay alive. 15 seconds still left. Cloud9 will not be able to win it here, it looks like. So now it's just down to how much focus do you put on playing for this old time if you're Minnesota versus having to play for the rotation.
Yeah, Minnesota just want to push through it. It's as simple as that. Find the kills, get yourself to that new hard point, but you got Sib cutting you off. He just found kill number 40. Almost lines up 41, but again, only a 7-point difference.
Paul shut down. What a set of shots from Attach. Estriel keeps the hard point open though. 243 to 240. Prep trying to dive into the hard point. Contest on the way, but Minnesota are finding the eliminations. Now it's just down to can anyone get here. Kills are good for New York. Mac trying to slide in. Gio spamming up through the doorway. Can anyone else for Cloud9 touch? Prep trying to get there, but no. Nero shuts it down. We've got electricity in the venue, map 1.
Both of these teams are going blow for blow. But in that final moment, again, Minnesota spawning on the preferred side, 4v4. Watching that cross, even with Attach catching that double. You sneak someone into the hill. The wall bank's not good enough to take them out. And then just 1 set of kills is all you need to close that map 1 out. Minnesota Rocker finally finds some success in map 1. And now this changes the series completely.
Yep. I mean, legitimately, it's just, you don't start down 80 points, which we've seen them do on this map so often. But I gotta put a highlight onto Estriel.
Man.
Legitimately 2 or 3 different times where by himself, he secures 40 seconds worth of time. You see the finesse that he had underneath stage? He did it again right there at the end towards P2. Estriel massive at 40 and 30, 4,400 damage, 17 objective kills. Sib still playing well, just not enough to get past that 7-point deficit.
Yeah, 41 kills out of Sib is phenomenal with 5K damage, but we got to take a look at that again, because it is an absolute barn burner here. Cloud9 realized, okay, we can no longer win it there at P3, so you start having players start to edge on out. Pretty sure Mac does get caught off the roto. Minnesota have a couple players spawning towards the back. They keep it mixy. But then these next couple of spawns, once that new hill pops, look what it does for Minnesota spawn. They spawned over towards the backside of Ticket, one over towards the soccer field. And even though they're dying on the cross, it just makes it so much easier where you get in that close spawn because you can watch the cross from multiple different angles.
And look at the heads-up play from Estriel. Again, so many individual moments from him in this map where he just knows, I could be the first one into the hard point, but I'm also the only one who can stop Cloud9 from getting into the hard point. So I'm going to take that angle, get the AR out, and he finds himself 2 kills. That was a 1v4 moment on the rotation that Estriel shuts down 2. It pauses Cloud9. Nero gets back into the picture. And we have got about as even of a game as we've seen. It was the early lead established by Minnesota. A big bounce back in that second set by Cloud9, especially from 3 to 4. But at the end, it's just down to who makes the individual play. And Estriel had the final word.
With such a close game like that, it's such little things that you need to try to work on and try to fix there. But also little things that eventually cost you that map. If Estriel doesn't find a 5-piece with the pistol on the bottom side of stage, you only lose by 7 points. You're able to get that time and eventually walk away with it. But just those small margins of game-changing plays, Estriel was able to catch a couple. Same thing alongside Mac. He gave Cloud9 multiple opportunities to keep themselves into this game. But unfortunately, it falls short. And now Minnesota, with that Vault Search and Destroy map number 2, that's a bread and butter for them.
Good morning, COD fans.
Hello.
We're not starting slow today. No way, no sir. Vault Search, though, you already kind of allude towards it. This has been great for Minnesota. They played it a lot. They found a ton of success here. And it often has been one of those maps that they either find their map 5 wins, which we've seen a lot of those, or that's where they turn the series around for a map 2 after they fall short in their opening hardpoint. So like you said, them coming away with this red card hardpoint changes this series very dramatically in favor of Minnesota. The only thing to kind of turn that conversation back around is that this Cloud9 team did look a lot better yesterday, and it wasn't just in one mode or another. It was across the board. They looked improved.
No, they started clicking, man, and clicking at the right time. You go all the way to a Game 5 Search and Destroy. You were able to ice up. You had moments out of Civ. You had moments out of Attach, and even big moments out of Mac. Every single time I get to watch him, he's just a fun POV to see. But on Vault Search and Destroy so far this season, that is the biggest category right there. That opening duel win percentage is first overall for Minnesota Rocker, not only on the offense, but even on the defense. The only thing that scares me with them is after they find that first kill, because the conversion rate at 9th overall isn't the best when you have a numbers advantage.
Exactly. And this is kind of an anomaly. You saw the 10th overall opening duel win percentage for Cloud9 on this map. They actually rank overall in Search 3rd, but they also struggle in conversion. I think most importantly is that they've really suffered playing around the OBJ. They get the bomb down a ton, but don't successfully hold their post plant. They're also really poor at retaking. So this is all about objective focus, you would think, for Cloud9. And I will say again, they were much better yesterday. You see it there, able to win the map 2 and the map 5 in their series, getting them their win to continue on through this lower bracket. This guy also, a big problem. Sid has been unbelievable. Definitely feels like the Sid that we come to know, and well, for some love, I would say.
And Dante is him. I was happy to see him pump his chest yesterday, gain his confidence back, because there's been a lot of chirping on his name. But into the map number 2 we go. It's going to be Cloud9 on the attack, instantly thinking about that objective early on.
Yeah, Nero seen. Paul is still covered over towards the backside of Paul. Nero just kind of throwing shoulders. Now Paul makes his move. Good stun check from Civ. He's going to have an opportunity to take the 1v1 versus Paul. Wins it very cleanly. Nero tries to get into the moment, but no entry to the bomb site at all. Kremp right behind the play, gives the numbers to Cloud9 in the post plant.
Yeah, Kremp gets active on the pinch. Now turns it into a 1v2 for Geo. There's a lot of time to work with, and a big gunfight versus Civ, 1v1, 20 seconds.
Yeah, Kremp resets. Just moves to the furthest possible point away and has the opportunity to come back down through the hole or to re-wrap. And he's going to go for the re-wrap as soon as the call starts to come through that. There is no time for the defuse. Geo wins the gunfight, but yeah, no clock to play with.
And that's a post plan already is showing adjustments right there for Cloud9. They instantly get the bomb down. They bait and switch for that early first blood, or at least a trade. But then just keep the numbers on their side. Staying active on the map if you are the SMGs, just setting up those pinches, but just trading out one by one, leads to Cloud9. Successful on the first attack.
And just keep that defensive setup in mind as well, that Nero's throwing shoulders top balcony, trying to get Paul
exactly
an
what that
advantage
was.
over towards Palms. Does not have it. So does that change the mentality of Minnesota on their default defensive setup? Well, to come to know, when we eventually get to round 3. First and foremost, their offense. Nades into pool for Cloud9, don't land. But look at this stack. Cooked up nades coming out. Nero tries to force the issue because he has to. Estrio right there with them, and Estrio keeping the hot hand here in the surge. He still has one more to find. He knows he's got it in front of him, but Attach shuts it down. We go 2v2.
Yeah, I don't know if that third child was necessary there at Estrio. You're obviously feeling yourself after map number 1, but Sib now makes you pay for it. Paul X left in the 1v2. The S&D mastermind for this Rocket roster. Bomb being down around that A site, and you can see Cloud9, they're just getting away. They have that info.
Yeah, Paul's lost his opportunity to try to isolate towards that defender over the top side of the bomb. A little pre-fire in the corner just in case.
He's twisted.
Yeah. Or tweaking, one of the two. Find out. Here comes the opportunity for the actual gunfight itself. Cloud9 re-wrapping back into mid-map. Bomb is still down inside the A site, and Paul's just hoping he can find some hit markers, and there are none.
Yeah, he just keeps on giving up his positioning as well. So if you're
Yeah.
Cloud9, you know that he's not working that bomb plant. You know that he's over towards pool, and most likely this play is going to go over towards A.
Ooh.
So now the double chow comes in.
And that's all they need. Opening shots towards Attach were pretty clean, though. Paul gave himself a go. But that 2v2 just kind of unfolds as soon as you get caught trying to play through that little rotation for Minnesota. And Sim is having another good start here.
It goes back to that 3v2 situation, though, when Estrio responds with the double.
Yeah.
You can't just chow that. At least wait for your teammate to try to help you there. You still were weak. But Attach commits on the gunfight, makes it a 2v2, and then Sib finds that second kill immediately to put them in the advantage. It's now Cloud9 finding success early on with those first bloods, up 2-0.
All right, big brains. Let's take a look to see what Minnesota does with this defense. Do they switch it up a touch? It looks like they will. Again, remember, last time around, Paul was trying to play over towards Palm side with help from Nero. Now he's double stacked over towards B. And this is going to be a free plan and a very different post point for Cloud9 at that. I mean, you got Sid playing inside P2 this time, and Mac is going to get some control towards balcony as Kremp is watching the bench.
Yeah, but Kremp is going to get overwhelmed here. Every single player from Minnesota trying to drop them into vault. It's a 4-man retake.
They still have nades, though. Nero already on for the defuse with the trophy system, and Mac is going to have to challenge this. He's worried about the trophy system. No one's got an eye on Nero defusing. Oh, no, not like that.
All players were still alive, right, Helen?
Correct.
It was a 4v4.
It was a 4v4.
Right. A guy planted the bomb, right?
Yep.
And he should have stayed in that site, you know,
Maybe.
trying to contest it.
Could have.
All right, I guess not. We had no info gained, no one in towards the site. But the fact that Nero's just able to put down the trophy, pull it onto an angle where you can't see it from Palm. That's where that post plan needs to be a lot better if you're Cloud9, man.
You say it right there. It's the fact that they don't plan it to see it from outside.
Yeah.
So a pacifist's round comes through in round 3. Cloud9 looking to get aggressive through that top hallways. Minnesota for a quick plant. Gio did sneak a little bit deeper than you would have expected as Kremp comes up from behind and the defense now overwhelmed. Bomb does get planted though. Estriel's still alive, trying to get the regen. Nade to give him some space.
Yeah, big nade to slow him down, but Attach with the knife catches Nero off guard. And that leads to Cloud9 successful on the retake. They were so fast just now on that defense through hallway. You're thinking, okay, I just started planting the bomb. We should be able to get this down before anyone is even close towards our flank. And they said, screw that. I'm going right through this hallway. I'm going to isolate the player over towards the backside of P2. Find that opening kill, and then as soon as that bomb gets planted, Estrio was already in the gunfight. Just wasn't expecting that pressure on that round.
It also started off with a couple of good nades from Cloud9 as well into pool to at least weaken up some of those members, but here is Attach running around with the knife, doing his best Chucky impersonation. And I think for Cloud9 fans, you're sitting here thinking, wow, we should be up 4-0.
Yes, without question, you should be up 4-0. Got to make those adjustments now on your offense. Make sure we at least have one person in towards the side or plant it on the proper angle.
Yeah, planted in the right spot. Looks like it's going to be another A hit coming through. Sib worried about mid-map this time. He's been playing over towards P2 quite a bit, but him and Attach are worried about the middle, at least to start. Kremp also kind of looking to see if they can catch someone out. This is good adjustment here from Cloud9. They do know that Minnesota has been threatening over towards Palms. Mac trying to follow up, and he will find Nero into square.
Minnesota, they're playing really scared right now on their defensive setups. Cloud9 just continuously running it down on them. They find that early first blood. They don't know what the setup is looking like in towards A, but that nade is going to give them a lot of info. We can just get it down now.
That will indeed be the call. Estriel, a little bit of a rewrap, checking his corners up top. The rest of the defense is going to have to rotate from the other side of the map. Paul's going to be down low and towards vault. Nades exchange, but as Estriel drops it, there's just no way this post plant retake ever really gets off the ground. You think unless Gio can piece somebody up.
Yeah, the wall bang's not going to connect. 4v2, Paula trying to find something on the pinch, but they're just going to send it on to him. He's not going to stand a chance in Cloud9. Just taking over on their attacking rounds. This is where they needed to show improvement. And the way that Minnesota Rocker are playing, you're not contesting it. You're not trying to switch it up on your defenses with some aggressive pinches. They're just giving them that A side for free, thinking, okay, we're the second best retake team. It should work out a majority of the time, but so far it hasn't yet.
And I think a lot of it is, again, you talk about that opening defensive setup where Paul just gets shut down over towards Palms. They don't get that to work. And from there, it's like, what's our second idea? You have the idea of trying to play through the middle of the map and try to overwhelm through top halls, but that doesn't really work out either. And now they just look like they're just hoping they can find a first blood, like they're just playing for picks.
Down a couple rounds now as Cloud9 is starting to pull away. Back to the defensive side they go, and look, they're sending every player instantly through pool.
But
Minnesota are not going to be ready for this.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. I mean, there's no one looking up top towards pool. They're going to get the plant off, but Cloud9 have cleared the space. They're going to stop the rotation back. They also know that Gio's played through stairs, so you have a numbers advantage here if you're Cloud9. If you can just dive on into this retake on the point itself, you may win this out flat out. And that's indeed the case. Sid comes up, finds one. Now you're back in. You should be able to hop for the defuse. Gio, the route, trying to hit it with Paul. They also don't have a good angle at this, and as they try to dive in, New York just completely overwhelmed.
That's a complete blind counter as well, because you're stacking over towards B Street, trying to think about working that deep pinch. But Cloud9 instantly take away pool again. That's two back-to-back defenses where they're just applying the pressure on that side, making it very difficult for you to even think about that objective in towards A. And then when they're also finding that first flood, they realize, okay, who planted the bomb? Estriel? Okay, he's probably the only guy in there. And every time they find that kill, they're just putting themselves in the advantage. Cloud9, point game.
Minnesota have had nothing work.
Need to switch it up.
Absolutely nothing has worked for them.
This is usually never the case when we talk about Search and Destroy. They make the adjustments. They are prepared for those mid-round setups. It's just right now, they haven't really adapted yet. Hopefully they switch it up on this defense, so they're going down 6-1.
Yeah, they're going hard towards mid here. Trophy system down for Cloud9. They're going to force the issue. Different look. Does Sid get any info through mid with his nades? Hard to say. Kremp, though, opening first blood. He's off 5 in a row. And I think they do know that there's defense inside. I mean, you can see, Kremp's going to cook up a nade. Toss banked. Estriel with the challenge. Works out for at least a 3v3 situation.
Oh, and Mac with a nade in hand. Potentially can line one up. Almost finds that kill on the Gio. But man advantage now to Rocker. Sid makes one. Makes it a 2v2.
Yeah, great route from Sid. Knowing they had Minnesota essentially stuck in towards the A-bomb site, and now they re-wrap back out. It's just down to Nero, 1v2. Bomb collected. Nero checking. Nothing home. And now it's just a foot race. Who gets to the bomb site first? They may just all meet right here.
Yeah, Nero.
He may have seen
He's
it.
able to spot them there. Knows that the player's going to be over towards B, but you really don't want this bomb to go down.
No, you don't. Good angle. Finds the first. Trying to get the player off the bomb. Now the nades. Sid, he's been great so far this weekend. Re-wraps, backs out, Sid with a chance. The Nero shuts it down, and a 1v2 win keeps Minnesota alive with the bat.
Big clutch right there from Nero. Gives them a little bit of fight back into the search and destroy. You needed some momentum, and a 1v2 could potentially be the start off. But it's just, they need to do the complete opposite of what they're doing on both sides. On attacks, they're playing really quick, where they're giving up all the map. But then on defense, they're playing really slow. We need to play slow on attacks and then really fast on defenses to try to adapt, because every single time on defense, at least on offense for them, Cloud9 are just running it down through hallway, running down through middle map, and just taking over pool. Maybe pull out an extra AR here to hold down that position.
I like that idea. But Minnesota instead are going to hard stack into the middle of the map. Looks like a break off for control. Cloud9 are here to meet it. Messy in the middle, but it's 3 eliminations for Minnesota. And with the, well, RCXD for Sim, this will be a Planet B.
Yeah, just go Planet B.
Yep.
You know he's not going to be able to contest it. It's now Sid left in a 1v3. 45 seconds to go. Going to work his way through vault.
If he pulls this off. Peek push the door. Estriel tag, but stays alive. Now he's on his little dance move. Good frag. Right into the waiting arms, and Minnesota putting them together pretty quickly.
There you go. Starting to match their pacing. Able to hit them with the blind counter with that mid push. Execute on the trade battle. 3 for 1 is fantastic. Then in a 1v3, Sid stood no chance.
Yeah.
They realized, okay, last guy's in the RC car. We can just go get the bomb down. At one of the more difficult sites to retake.
100%. Okay. And I think the thing here is, like, again, talking about this defense for Minnesota, since round 1, they just have not gotten early eyes anywhere. I think that's the big call you're looking for, is try to adjust. Don't just stay passive. Don't just default to playing 4v4 retake. Let's see if we can catch some information and actually put ourselves in a good spot. Nade's trophies down. Good bounce. How does that even? That bounces off the top balcony from Minnesota, so Mac is hurt. Can't fully commit to the plant initially, but does have a chance at it. Nero peeking through pool. Sip doesn't have an angle at him, and Nero's going to find the first blood.
And they knew from at least the previous round, they only sent one player in towards the site, so you might just want to stick the defuse again. You have gunfights going around the middle of the map. Everybody just shoots, stall on time.
Attach! He's in the car! They're able to get Nero down. Sip for the kill. Attach still waiting in the middle of the map, and that will be enough to find Estriel. So now to the 1v1. No information on where Geo is. Pops up through the palms. They see each other. Now it's just down to who wins the shots, and it's clean from Geo. Minnesota not dead yet as we head into round 10.
And it's all off that first blood right there from Nero. Catching the timing, getting past Sib's sight line, and opening with that first blood. And once that RC car gets invested, I thought Nero was really close to securing that defuse, but obviously you don't want to die like that. Attach comes out of it, turns it into a one-on-one, but so much time left on that game clock that Geo knows. All right, he's most likely on the backside of the pool. Let me just play it patient here and play for the gunfight. And Minnesota, never a team that dies immediately.
No.
They always got fight in them. 3 rounds in a row into round 10.
Onto the offense. Mad dash into the top hallway. Bomb carrier Estriel playing backside pool. This is all 4 members from Minnesota. They're going to try to push through this, and they will. And they're going to find success at it. Cloud9 playing backside pool, though, once again, this is going to feel very familiar to the other round.
Yeah, but they're going to waste a lot of time trying to locate who's the guy watching the pitch. Where did he go?
Yep.
But no one is there. Every single player from Minnesota Rock are stacking it towards the side, but here comes an RC.
Blown up immediately, though. Now you have to try to force your way on in. Sib shut down to the benches, has to work from the front. Trophy system deleted. Can you out-trade inside the point? First shot's good from Krent. Can he find a follow-up? No. Paul in the corner is good. Oh, they find 3. Minnesota racking them together. We got round 11.
They are sick and tired of being isolated over towards full set. I said, everybody pull out an SMG. Everyone going towards the ball. We have every angle covered. They can only come through this small crack through the pool side. As we're going to take another look at the great angle from Paul X.
You got to keep in mind, though, Jay, that was 2 trophy systems invested for Minnesota. So, yeah, that works out because you drop both and you've got 4 SMGs, but how do you manage this round with no trophy systems? You would have to think they will not play with that same tempo as they're back on the offense.
Yeah, and also Cloud9 probably not going to be aggressive again. That one catches them off guard, but Minnesota going right back to it. They said it worked one time, let's do it again.
There is a trophy system still down. Whoa, back! Hello? The definition of a dolphin dive. He comes off the top rope. It's a mess. It's an absolute pinstripe. 2v2. Sip still over the top of the bomb. Shots are decent. Nade's on the response. Minnesota are trying to exit the bomb site, and they find the kill. It's just down to attach. 1v2. Trying to contest it. There's the shoulder. No one's on for the plant. Attach running out of ammunition. Minnesota are going to double shell him. There's the first defense. No! Not going to happen. And Geo wraps it back from Rocker. Pops off on the main stage, and Minnesota somehow are up 2-0.
Oh, that's got to be so demoralizing there if you're Cloud9. You were up 5-1 in the game 2. Minnesota Rocker finally makes some adjustment, but it all starts with Nero finding that 1v2 clutch, man. He wins that round. The following, they apply the pressure on the defense, 4-stack their way on their offenses in towards the site. And just little by little, they said, nah, we're sick and tired of you guys doing what you want to us. We're just going to take it into our own hands, stack the bomb, not once, but twice on those final 2 attacking rounds. And just trading out effectively. They know, we got 2 players left, he's got 1, we're going for the double chow. And that secures the game there for Rocker. Super, super icy there.
I cannot believe we just saw that. That was 6 rounds of dominance from Cloud9. And Jay, how much do you look back at that 3rd round where it's 4v4, post-plant, no one dies, they sneak a defuse, and this could have been a 6-0 for Cloud9.
There's always one round that always tends to stick out. 4 players alive, you're planning instantly over towards that A site, but you don't have an angle or anyone even in towards the bomb site to contest that defuse. So that was a spark, but it was realistically that narrow 1v2 because then that gives you hope. Then you start making a couple adjustments. You said, screw all the strategies we have, let's just start hitting stuff. We hit stuff together and it started to work out for Minnesota Rock.
I don't have words. Somehow, some way, Minnesota continued to do what seems to be the impossible. They make it happen in the qualifiers, and so far, they're looking solid to possibly put this one away cleanly. 2-0 up as we head back to the desk.
What a job by Gio's crew. Great stuff here from Minnesota. They're up 2-0 at the half, but they shouldn't be in this position because that was a 5-1, 5-0 game for their opposition. Let's talk about Cloud9 and the fumble, but first, we got to go through this hard point. Talk to me about game one. Joe, this was back and forth.
I mean, that's really what it was, right? It was just this back and forth battle. I think Rocker had some early control. They had a great little P2 you can see right here. You had him spawning on the side of the map that you wanted, but then Cloud9 got going, specifically against Civ. He's really stepped it up here on land. Has not been great online, but shown his talent on the stage so far throughout the weekend. But Rocker do what they do best. They just get it to another stage hill towards the end of the game. And while they're able to contest, they find those kills towards the end. And yeah, I mean, this is just what Rocker do.
I think on the flip side of this, like, you got to think about the start from Paul X, right? Like, that's kind of been the player I feel like a lot of eyes have been on, and the inconsistencies, and especially in some of these respawns. And he came out like 8-1 at one point, and I think that's the reason Minnesota Rocker was able to take that map number one, is just that early lead, like Joe said, on that P2, because this was neck and neck throughout the entirety of it. Unfortunately for Cloud9, they just did not have any hedge or mid-map control heading over towards that stage. Attach tried to get there early, he gets shut down, and Estriel, I mean, just an unreal end of this game.
That was a massive play by Nero. Takes the slower off, goes all the way up top, absolutely guns Mac. And then you see Mac gets a spawn out. He gets into a position to maybe make some plays, and he ends up losing the gunfight. We don't see it there in that clip.
This is our scuff play of the game. It's the whole team. Final 45 seconds. Nameless, continue.
Yeah, so this is the play I'm talking about, actually. Shout out production. You see Mac gets into a great position here. He takes the gunfight on the top window and loses it. If he just dips and goes over towards stage, they have a way bigger opportunity here. But you see after he dies, now Minnesota just basically have full control where you're desperate if you're Cloud9.
And they almost catch Paul here. Well, they do catch Paul here. And you're thinking 3 dead. Maybe you're going to get there, but you get the close spawns if you are Minnesota Rocker, and then it's just sort of a who's got the cross battle. Estriel able to find the first one. Still, though, numbers going the way of Cloud9, but Gio from the hill able to find a double, solidifies the game victory.
Yeah.
Estriel 40 and 30, over a minute 40 of hill time. The man is in the MVP race for 2025. He has been a factor for Minnesota. That is your scuff play of the game, and there is the game flow. You can just see how many times it went back and forth in the second half, Allie.
I mean, it was just unreal how close this game was, and it all just comes down to, at the very end, a little bit of a panic button from the side of C9. Like I said, those last couple of seconds, nobody tried to get hedge or make control whatsoever. They're all just funneling towards that one side, and Minnesota Rocker does what they do best.
Cloud9 showing some mental strength, though, bouncing back in game two. Let's take a look here at Search and Destroy, because you come out on a heater. 5 straight rounds.
Look at this, Chris. If you did this with me in ranked play, I'd be so mad, right? This is a pro team. You just let him hop the bomb. You haven't planned for outside. It's a 4v4 and you lose. Check it off the bingo card. I am absolutely mind blown. This should have been a 6-0 Cloud9. They fumble this. You see the massive adjustments by Rocker. I feared it was going to be too late. You saw what Cloud9 was doing on their defensive round, just banging out full, finding the first kill. But Rocker said, you know what, screw it. We're going to 4-stack bottom vault, take advantage of the map, and just make them funnel through a doorway. As soon as we kill Mac, or as soon as we kill Kremp, we know we have a massive advantage because Civ and Attach are going to be ironed with ARs. And you saw it in the final round, how it plays out. Like, Minnesota just made adjustments.
And that's what's so upsetting about watching this map number 2 is that Cloud9 never made any adjustments once Minnesota Rocker started putting themselves back into this game. After that little diffuse as the 4v4, it was like Cloud9 just kept doing the same thing over and over and over again. And you got players like Nero, you got players like Gio, they're gonna start giving you those reads. And unfortunately for Cloud9, I mean, there was just nobody sent up mid side, nobody tried to go through the hall. We just stepped to pool side, and it really hurt them in the end.
Joe, can we talk about the coolest kill, though, of the entire tournament? Mac from the top ropes, jumping to the bottom of the pool, getting the kill from his side.
And honestly, he could have got out, but I think Paul throws his stun. So that's a great play. Like, they're already thinking it was the same thing the round prior. They all hit Cat and they took pool control. But unfortunately for them, it just doesn't matter. I don't know how this map is still in over rewind. It is, but it's not. It's awful.
Bring rewind back, bro.
I mean, just, with that pool bomb, they just took it time and time again.
The players helped choose that they would prefer. Yeah?
Maybe, I don't know.
We'll talk about it later.
They don't know.
For now, we got to get back to the games. Minnesota is 1 game away from securing their spot in the top 6. Let's see if they can get it.
I don't know, man. I think Nameless is rightfully so mind-blown after that. I mean, legitimately. But now you got to try to find a way to bounce back. And, hey, let's try to paint this with a little bit of silver lining. Cloud9 did look good on protocol yesterday. Civ in particular continues to be the catalyst for this team so far here on land. have to have it again, though. You absolutely have to.
Yeah, you need your ARs to perform the same way they did in map number 1. They were able to slay. You also have the same performance out of Mac. We're making impactful kill after impactful kill. But Minnesota Rocker right now, they just got some different kind of ice. We're talking about where they struggle in map number 1, they were able to be victorious. Down 5-1 in the Search and Destroy, they bring that one all the way back. Now you get over to Protocol where the attacks for Cloud9, they were great. That's because they're finding their kills. They are getting pushed up into their base. They're making it very difficult for the players coming off the respawn. And even though Minnesota Rocker are sitting at 3-9, for some reason, they are never getting blown out on this map. They just usually tend to have slow starts.
Well, it's been a hot start here for Minnesota, enough to at least inject some energy to the green suits who are up and bouncing around. I imagine we're a couple of beverages deep at this point. And if they're not, they'll be there soon. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yes, it is. It's definitely not. Well, it's probably, no, not here yet.
Not here yet. Close. Good. Those boys know no time limits, but Gio knows no bounds as he has been unbelievable. So let's jump on into it. See if Minnesota can 3-0 right here on the Protocol control. They will be on offense first. Cloud9 trying to get aggressive over towards top 10.
Yeah, Gio's already in his happy place, sitting at top trips, watching his pitches, playing his timings. Is effectively going to get traded, though. And at least 3 kills in favor of Cloud9. Already pushed up in your base. If you're Minnesota Rocker, take your time.
And I think if you're looking at this from Cloud9, then this is Minnesota's choice to play this map here. So you're sitting there saying, oh, we get to go back to the protocol that we 3-0, but we get to have at least 2 defenses to start. We'll take that. New York off to the races, only dropping 3 eliminations to this point. Sid waiting for his prime opportunity to find a freebie onto Estriel and will convert. So Minnesota completely stuck at the moment trying to get in towards this A point.
Yeah, good play right there from Sid to play it patient. Doesn't want to get bad timing versus Estriel. He was in such a crucial position to make a play happen, but now he's able to dominate to his top grandmas. Shot's gonna make CDL black him down, but Gio in his happy place again on top steps.
Yeah, but this is Cloud9 continuing to step forward, get into defense, into the face of this Minnesota spawn. Time ticking, 30 seconds to clock. 2 wins for Rocker. And they're going to transition this over and down into B. Tramp is going to get caught a little bit by surprise. Big 1v1 here, which he takes, and that gives an opportunity for Cloud9 to try to get the defense going again.
They try to isolate onto Kremp. He hopefully is able to line it up with the nade, but nothing is going to connect. So that first segment is guaranteed. And you can see the entire kill feed is currently white. You have Gio still roaming around towards top 3. They are on both points. You got to make a decision here.
Yep, sure doing. Cloud9's going to default to playing over towards B. Gio from the high ground, waiting to see if someone comes up to Sip. Whoa, Sip still almost gets him. Follow-up from Kremp, though. Good for the trade. Back over to the A zone we go. Second tick just gets locked, so still a chance for Cloud9 to re-clear this zone. 26 seconds on the clock. Estriel finessing, Paul helping out, and Minnesota looking good for the extra 60, and they will take the lead back in terms of the lives.
Oh, but Estriel is going to fall. So now at least 3 dead. Paul X. Can you find a couple to help your teammates get on out? Great shots on the Sip. He's absolutely one shot. Let's try to bank the nade off the building.
And it works.
They have the numbers. Get back on.
It's just finding Mac. He's in the middle of the map with an SMG. He will drop. Gio gonna stay at the top as Estriel will make the call that I can hop into the point. Cloud9 spawning towards tower side. Nades are landing. Does Estriel stay alive? Does he get the extra 60? No, he doesn't. Gio needs to step on, and he will. Extra 60 seconds, 1v1 over towards B that Mac is able to take. We got a 10v8 with 60 seconds on the clock.
Up by 2 lives, Rocker. Just need to take your time, slow it down, play a little TDM, see what your player on the pinch and Gio can get done. He's taking his sweet time, working his way behind tower, and not a single player from Cloud9 are going to be reading this.
Yeah, and this is all about the timing on this pinch. Estriel coming up from one side, the rest of Minnesota flooding around the back. Even exchange, though, Cloud9 rotating back over. Sib up top, he still finds Estriel on the zone, massive win, leaving Gio by himself. Hopping onto the zone for a moment, but waiting for reinforcements as Cloud9 are trying to put the punish into the Minnesota Rocker spawn.
And it's 6v6, Cloud9 have control of bottom bunker. So it's only going to make it more difficult for them to even touch on this B point. Kremp finds another kill in the spawn. Estriel there for the trade. No more respawn for Rocker.
This is all about can they find this player down low. Nero slides through. Sid saves the point for now. 3v3. Gio, a long route. Attach. Good stun check. Here's him a chance at this gunfight. Gio trying to back off. The hunt is on. Gio still running for his life. 8 seconds on the clock. Minnesota need to find a way to try to touch the zone. Estriel from the high ground will just drop right on in. Shot towards Sid. Oh, not quite good enough, and Cloud9 get the win.
That's an icy moment right there from Cloud9, because I thought when Gio on that pinch, he was going to shut it all down. But he basically takes too long on that pinch, where his teammates have to get off the point to try to contest over towards B2. Sib finds a miraculous double through top mid. And this was the play right here that shuts it all down, because Gio has him lined up, just not able to finish the kill, and just Sib playing his life after that. Being a nuisance forced them to control the parts of the map that they wanted. Bottom bunkers theirs, or you had 2 SMGs pushed up to their base. Just that double right there from Sib secures around there for Cloud9.
Not gonna lie, Jay, I've got some maximum build from this series right now. I am getting geeked. This has been fun. 5 in a row for Mac coming off that defensive stand. 10-6. Maybe a chance for a Hellstorm as Cloud9 go back to what was their stronger side yesterday. 2 offensive wins and they're 3-0 on their first ever effort on a protocol control. They got to be feeling confident coming into the second round.
You can already tell on their breakoff, they want to slow this one down. They want the kills to go their way. Paul Lex assists them with the team kill on Astrio, but now you have Mac in the impactful position on 6 in a row. Does get shut down by Gio, but someone's now on that A point.
Now Thatch in a little bit of trouble. Survives, finds himself 1 into
Big
a
2.
second. Huge double. He knows one more is around the point. Can he finesse long enough? No. Astrio through mid-map. Able to shut down the play on the A zone. Clock continues to tick. Re-clearing out, though, in their base is Cloud9. A chance to get quickly back over to A, and a handful of wins will allow them to see the zone.
Yeah, they find 3 in the feed. Last player alive is going to be Gio. Everybody off the reset now if you're Rocker, over towards Tower. Can we hit a couple nades to take him off for that point? You have Astrio in a one-on-one gunfight off the respawn, instantly traded from Sib. As that first segment is locked.
Nice win from Krem. Just kind of dancing in and out of castle. Attach, also keeping the A zone safe. Here we go again. Cloud9 looking really clean on this offensive effort. 2 players on towards A. Krem getting to work on 4 in a row. Caught by Paul, but again, this gives so much time and space for Cloud9 to continue to stay stacked on this A zone. Nades trying to get over the top, but they're not going to get there in time. Cloud9 with 1:40 to play.
And they're up by 6 lives as well. So now if you're Minnesota, you got to make up for it. You need a synchronization of kills. 3 in a row. So you can start to get pushed up into your base and make up for those life deficits. You have 1 player already roaming. They're finding every single kill in their base. Now Cloud9 are just going to slow this one down.
Sib looking for kill number 7 in a row. Finds it. Hanging out, top third. Knows he's got Gio somewhere at the middle of the map. Cloud9 looking to isolate on towards him. But he stays covered, at least for a time. Kremp at least able to confirm the trade, but here comes up again Estriel from behind. Shuts down the potential streaks from Sib, leaving Mac to be the only real distraction now for Cloud9's offense.
But Mac is getting stuff done over there. He's
Wow.
able to find the 2-piece off the respawn. His teammates, though, are getting picked apart by the SMGs on the opposing end. So, Mac, your job is to simply keep on trying to farm. He finds another one onto Gio. Turns around and with the snap onto Estriel. This guy just doesn't miss. The return of the Mac is on point.
Kremp now down low. Has a look over the top of the B zone. Cloud9 still trying to get something set up, though, off spawn. Minnesota goes just completely AWOL. I mean, they just can't find him. Paul, big win onto Attach. Off the regen, a chance to find more off spawn. Sib in trouble, has to try to battle back, and there's just nowhere for him to go. Now looking down towards Kremp, not gonna win it. Cloud9, a chance to get on the B zone.
And this is where if you're Rocker, you just want to control bottom bunker. No more respawns remaining for Rocker. It has to be perfect. You have players contesting in the back of the spawn. Gio knows that there's at least 2 players coming off the respawn. But it's all about the timings. Can he find another? And there it is.
Time is becoming an issue here for Cloud9's offense. Can Estriel stay alive from the front? So far, so good. He finds a kill on the back. And he gets another one, a turnover towards Attach. Oh my goodness, 3v3. The last player forward is Sib. Nero still holding in a corner. Cloud9 have not dealt with Gio until that moment right there. 5 seconds on the clock. They have to make the dash. Sib up top. Should get a trade onto Estriel here. Will be able to do so, but no one gets on the zone? Or do they get the kills in time?
No, they didn't get the kills in time. Did they get the kills? Did they find Nero?
I don't know. I didn't see the kill feed.
Because there was 2 players attacking towards the point. Obviously, Sib focuses the player towards top plat. But if Nero falls in bottom bunker, yeah, that's a GG on the round there.
We swapped too fast. I didn't see if he was found in the kill feed or not. I have to imagine they found him, though, because the clock I thought was at like 5-6 seconds still.
I was about to say, like, if you run out of time there on that round, Sib, instead of playing for that kill, probably just want to jump onto the point. But I think Cloud9 were able to execute those last couple of kills there.
Yeah.
They found that kill on the narrow bottom bunker.
Nero's not in the game anymore.
Ah, okay. Well,
yeah, he's off at 1.8.
Okay.
So there's the final kill, but Nero must have DC'd?
It's definitely what happened there.
Wow. That is not
tough.
ideal.
No, not ideal, but that was basically the same exact round we saw out of Cloud9 on their defense. It came down to a 3v2 at the very end, and they were able to clutch up in those gunfights to close that one out. But Nero was in such a powerful position there towards bottom bunker, ready to contest those players on the B point.
Yeah, I don't know what you do there because 1.8, you find that kill up top on Estriel, but was anyone able to get on the zone in the first place? Because the players from Cloud9 from the front were still pretty far away. It would have had to have been the kill followed by the drop down into the zone. Nero was sitting bottom spiral. I don't know what you called here.
That's a tough call,
I don't know. We just work here.
It's a really tough call, even from like a former pro player's perspective.
For real,
it's a really tough decision that's going to be on the cards here because 1.8 seconds, a 3v2, Nero sitting towards bottom bunker. Keep in mind, that is a powerful spot to be in a contest over towards that B point. And so even if 2 people fly onto the point, he has an opportunity to get that double kill to take him off.
I don't even know if he needs to get 2. There may just be, you only need to get 1. With 1.8 on the clock, 1 kill very well could have done it because you have to figure by the time that you drop into the zone, you're dealing with less than a second. Tough seats, weird situation. But like we said, we got a little bit lost in the sauce right there. We swapped away to the player cams. Cloud9's fist bumping, but I was like, wait a second. I swear to God, no one killed Nero.
I didn't see it yet. I didn't see Nero fall down. Still just trying to figure out what's going to happen in this situation. But again, like, can you just see the plays that Mac is making, man? Like, he's on the other side of the map by himself. He knows that his teammates are not having fun off the respawn, going up against Estrua and Nero on the opposing end. But he's making up for it in 2v1 situations every single time. That's what Mac does. He's just the impactful SMG on this team.
It's an unbelievable scene. I know we talk about it a lot here in the broadcast, but to take a full year off, like we're not even talking like he was just in Challengers. Did not play. And then to come back in and be the shining star on this Cloud9 team that I think the expectations were obviously a lot higher than where they started the season. Obviously the unfortunate set of circumstances that I think Twitter all knew about in the first 2 weeks is something, but still, the fact of the matter is we expected this team to be a contender for top 4. Had not shown it maybe until yesterday, which is tough to say because it's an elimination round 1 game. You throw away, I won't say, you know, a full hard point, but you kept it tight, but you do throw away the search and destroy. I don't know. It's hard to evaluate this team right now.
No, it definitely is, man, because through the online stage, they didn't really have a lot of success. When they played up against all the top teams, they were basically getting ran besides that one series versus Atlanta, but they go all the way to a map 5. But that's with Atlanta testing a lot of their maps. We just always were talking about this Cloud9 roster with their AR presence. They couldn't really find their kills, couldn't be in sync. And things weren't clicking, but I don't know. They've been able to figure it out here on LAN. And 1 series is basically all you need to start that train.
And I think the thing about it, too, is like seeing Sib play like this gives us a lot more confidence in the ability to evaluate this team full out. Because it just felt like one of those things, like, you just don't assume that Sib is going to have that bad of a time for that long. And I think the cool thing about watching Sib in this matchup here versus what he did yesterday is that same confidence, never faltered, never really fully tested towards the point of, like, he starts to get kind of like the yips a little bit. It's just full-on confidence. He gets the roar, like you said, at the end of yesterday's game, and he starts off today super hot. And that's good news for Cloud9 fans across the board.
Yeah, without question, because this is the guy that you wanted in the beginning of the season. This is why you picked him up, to lead this team in slaying. He's been always one of those ARs that can shoot with the best of them. You compare him to like the likes of Dash, you compare him to like the likes of Celium, but he just really hasn't found his footing so far this season until we got here. He just needs to continue that going forward.
That spark could be big, but we're still discussing exactly what's going on with the technical issue on stage. So we're going to step away for a break. When we come back, Protocol Control right back on your screens. Don't go far.
We're playing the bomb.
Oh my god.
God, ball, come on, give it to me. Bomb is armed.
No, I don't know if he gets behind you, behind you.
Oh! Yes! Yo, come on, bro!
They're gonna sit deep. They're gonna sit deep.
I'm gonna try.
I'm
Signing cross.
I'm looking gold.
Pinching, Snoopy, got him.
Nice.
Yo, in the
water.
I don't know where he is.
In the water, in the water.
Oh, go, boys.
Go, boys.
Nice. Good DK 16.
I got us, boys.
We were hyping this up, right? It's the 4th matchup. You know, we've seen you guys constantly in grand finals. You guys came out and made that look easy.
Yeah, I mean, Like I said, we've been saying it online the whole time. Online respawns are different. No sound EQ, we're a way different team, and we just showed it right there. Also, people seem to forget who built that camp. I know how they play. I taught those kids how to play Call of Duty, so don't forget that. All right, like let's.
I mean, big there.
It's like both sides. Watch out, he might be ironing you.
I think he's looking for you.
He is. Low boat.
Nice!
Oh my god. Good map, Ken. Holy
God.
He just took us home.
Took us home. Oh my god.
Bro, I can't.
No way. Man. Oh my god, I should have.
Joe, bro, yet she should have.
I thought he won that. I actually thought.
You just went to the staircase. We're gonna be getting pinched.
I have no ammo. I had to push up.
Yeah, you just push. Dead.
Umbrellas.
And just don't line up with me.
I had no ammo, bro.
Dude, that's so tough, bro.
I had no ammo, bro.
To make the play. It's been all about him all tournament long. It can come down to a 1v1. Oh! He stopped!
Buying one.
Top window.
Frosty dead. I'm in their spawn.
Nice.
There's be another one on me.
I'm pressuring.
What's Rook's J?
One's on me. That's two.
Nice.
Nice. Just spawn the shit.
Yo, come B. Come. Or you? Yeah, you go. You go.
We have it.
You guys are good.
Nice.
Spawn dead.
My god, Caesar.
Okay, Mike, I'm just trying to shoulder everything.
Just get all four.
Oh,
my god.
that was dirty.
But like, good.
Just no. I was working picks, bro. I was working picks.
Joe, a hot dog is a sandwich. You know this. You have known this from time.
Bro, hot dog's a taco.
Hot dog is not a taco.
More of a taco than
it's
a sandwich. 100% a taco.
A hot dog is a sandwich, bro.
You think? See, thank you very much.
Taco.
It's
You
two
think
bits
about
of
how
bread.
taco is not a taco, you
It's
idiot.
taco.
It's not a taco, you idiot.
Taco is
It's not.
It's hard.
Look
It's
at the shape of it. Look at the shape of it, bro.
Idiots. I can't deal with them, bro. I can't deal with CR duel.
By the way, we actually have a podcast called Players Only, presented by Blacklight. Go check it out. Joe, you're an idiot!
Ghosty doing his best to do it. Oh, here we go. Three are going to drop. A chance to go. One person. It's Rods that's got to go clutch. From the position we saw Crip do it, he doesn't do it. Ghosty able to put him down. They get on the point. Everybody's up. That's not going to hit. Second bit of progress done. They got to surge on forward. A BZ with one. Can't get through. Oh, and Sim connect. But you win it if you're Crip. Of course it's Crip. Time and time again, he wins his one-on-one.
On bridge, yeah, our bridge is shield.
One's left.
I'm cutting mid.
I'm not sure if I'm getting old, but I swear to God, Joe, sometimes when Celium talks, all I hear is... Yeah.
But early in our 7th circle here, there's still 30 teams left. You don't have any resources. Get to the zone if you can. Win your gunfight. Maze somehow sneaks through. You see a lone Nubu Spartan running around like a chicken with his head cut off. There are so many squads. This is unprecedented. Being able to see this from the Codcaster is so special. There's our first moving zone.
Can you walk us through what kind of y'all's situation is?
Yeah, what's the setup you got going?
Apartment?
So we have a like a kind of like a penthouse apartment and a whole bunch of setups in here.
Do you guys all live together in this penthouse? Who's cooking? Who's whipping up the meals after a win?
So Brian gets the penthouse. We're all staying at a different apartment.
Okay.
Still pretty nice, not quite a penthouse, but you know, we spend every day here. It's
Brian Saints living in a penthouse? Call of Duty can make dreams come true, children. You heard it here first. All right.
I don't see anything, bro. I literally top up.
Put your head down
Nading
and
him?
secure the target.
Playing it.
Planting the bomb.
I need him top left.
He's in the little thing.
Come in. Come back in.
I've already bombs down.
Yeah, bombs down.
Yeah, that way. Done.
I can kill that guy. Done.
Above you on the gear.
No man.
No man's right now.
Now, hit them again before they
Little baby.
Hey, bro, I'm on Mars, right?
I'm on Mars.
Skies dies, and then in a 3v4, effectively, New York Subliners slid on through.
They're playing my court. They have to play. They are both water. One shot. There's two water. They were both. They went red. They went red, Clay. They? Yeah. They went red. Both red. Both inside red. Both inside red. They went front door. They went front door.
He's hopping. Watch me.
Water. I have your word. Back door.
He
They didn't see you yet. Nice! Let's go, Clay!
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to trauma cut. Purpose up cut for him, shot up.
Oh, we can't travel res? Well, that's tragic. At least let him mill.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I think that side.
Nade hit one a couple times and stunned mid cut.
What am I doing, bro?
One guy's in sub.
Mid cut.
Welcome back to Madrid and our first match here on Saturday. Cloud9 taking on Minnesota. Currently, Minnesota up 2-0. I'm sure everyone's on the edge of their seat to see what's going to happen here after that ending to round number 2. The decision has been made by our comp ops team that we will be resetting the second round. So it'll be a 1-0 edge to Cloud9 here as we get back into the protocol control.
Yeah, I love that call right there because it's a 50-50 chance. You really don't know what the ending result potentially could have been on that round. So let's just rewind and let's start fresh. If you're Minnesota Rocker, that's got to be a tough pill to swallow, but at least you're not down 2-0.
No, exactly. And I think there's, even debates on both sides towards it. It's a 3v1 situation. You don't know where Nero is. Clock is running down. I think it's the right call. So, not that we have any influence on the decision whatsoever.
Not at all.
It's just kind of is what it is. So that's what we have in front of us. I think the biggest point, though, as we look to now restart, is can Minnesota stop this Mac and Cramp duo in your face from the defensive side, because they have been flying at it.
It's the way that you can probably adjust to that is when you know that two players are coming off the respawn, let's just work together.
Yeah.
Play out the trade, because when you're going one by one, Mac is able to pick you apart. He's able to realize where the pressure is coming in. His teammates are obviously giving the confidence, no one over towards tower, so they have to be approaching through that right side. As you can see, even though LHG got eliminated yesterday,
these guys
green suits are turned.
I'm saying, literally, they're turned around. Now these guys are going crazy. And I think everyone's starting to get a little bit of energy for the Miami series coming up. It's starting to get a little wild, a little rowdy in here, which we love to see. Big shout out to the green suits, man.
They come deep. I don't know if you saw that video that Conley was able to tweet out. Even when their team loses, they are in their corner 100%. But to take a look at the bracket again, obviously this is only match 1. We're all the way at the bottom. Rocker currently up 2-0 versus Cloud9, but we got the winner's side coming up next. Heretics versus Thieves is going to be a banger, but Ultra B phase. How many times have we seen those two organizations have those battles?
No, that's going to be one of those that you see and you say, yep, I'm going to make sure I am sitting ready to go for that one. But Miami, LA, it's just one of those things, man. After Miami comes off that win versus Optic, you win both hardpoints in that series, and you clutch up that map number 5. You start to look at Miami and say they could beat anybody as well, especially if the crowd continues to get behind them like they had in day number 1.
Oh yeah, that hardpoint game needs to be strong though, because you're going up against an LA Thieves roster who didn't allow the other team to even breach 200 points, barely even 100. So your HP game needs to be on point today if you're Miami. But we're already going through the fly-through. That means we're getting back to the game. Remember, chat, remember everybody in the crowd is currently 1-0 in favor of Cloud9, because they're going to be opening this round on the attack.
Okay, see what we get this time around. Success towards A came first, and then, of course, the drama over the top of the B zone to finish had Cloud9 with a life advantage, but running out of time. So what adjustments are made on both sides here as we reset everything? Again, Cloud9 up 1-0. And it's an immediate push here for Minnesota. Double stack down through comms. A lot of focus over towards B. Kremp able to deal with the first, and he's on the B zone early, although Estriel will find the quick exchange. Mac trying to do a little bit of a dance here to find the trade, and will eventually convert, leaving Cloud9 now looking towards a rotation up towards A.
Still a lot of time to work with here. If you are Cloud9, continue to work on this left side of your mini-map. You have Sim, who's roaming towards the top windows, trying to maintain that mid-map control. But now Mac trying to find the timing on the pinch, finds the first on Tamero, 22 HP. Yeah, I want to get back there, but another draw is going to happen. Okay.
Yeah, got to be something going on stage, it looks like, for the Minnesota side. So, okay. It's interesting, though, if you want to just try to take like a moment to break down what we're seeing. Lots of focus for Cloud9 to play through comms and then get up to the defensive building. Not as much towards what we've seen a lot of other teams do, which is get the early stack, try to play from your own building, win a couple of gunfights, stack A. They want to take the map away from you. And it worked out really well for them yesterday, and it looks like that continues to be like the mantra to what they want to do on offense here today as well.
But you can see for Cloud9 on their offensive side, they want to find early success over towards that B point because they know if you can pull that defensive setup from Minnesota Rocker towards that side of the map, they're most likely going to be camping around low bunker. You saw Mac in that position just winning those gunfights, just giving them opportunities to close out some easy segments there. But if you're a Minnesota Rocker, just continue to do what you do. Like, they found the initial 2 kills on the bottom side. They were trading effectively. Cloud9 were not able to secure that first segment, but we need to be more active on the map. If we realize the pressure is being read on the right side, someone that's playing over towards left, even towards top Granny's windows, let's push out towards gun. Let's try to flank their base. Make it a lot more difficult for them.
And just turn it into like old school Black Ops 4 frequency where we're just going to play spawn traps against each other.
Exactly.
That type of situation. Who can slay out better when it comes to being in your opponent's spawn? Might be a strategy that we see.
Mac's that guy right now.
No, he really is. And I think the other side of it for like Minnesota, we saw this team early in this season start slow. And it would always be like a protocol control where they would just flip the switch. And they would just get in your face, run at you, find continual eliminations. And it feels like both teams are kind of taking that same kind of energy. But with this issue, we're going to go to another break. Something about Jay and I just being on these little podcasts.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
It's one of those things. We don't have the start point. We'll go to a break. We'll come back. We'll have protocol control. I promise you. Backside of the break. Don't go anywhere.
Back for another one. Here we go. How I like that. We back for another one. Here we go. We back on the scene like we never left. Time to go put them back on the shelf. No, we do not need permission. We came in alone, now we leaving you by ourselves. Now nobody wanna play me. Everybody think I'm crazy. Guess I gotta live up to it, nothing but to do it. Hear me out. Let's go. They know we done been there before. They know I done been there before. I think we gon' do it again. I think we gon' do it again. I'm ready to go for the win. Tell them let's do it again. Let's do it again. You know what we doing. Do it again. Tell them I'm here for another one. Let's win. Let's do it again. You know what we doing. Oh, I like that. Do it again. Tell them I'm here for another one.
Damn, baby. Tell them let's do it again.
Who you know got the power to turn on the switch anytime that they want. We do. Who you know got the energy. I bet I can take it that you know who don't. I'm on the move and better believe I stick to the plan. I got the city behind me, yeah, 'cause they know I'm the man. They know we done been there before. I think we gon' do it again. Oh, I like that. I'm ready to go for the win. Who ready? Tell them let's do it again.
This guy just solo challenged.
Let's do it again. You know what we doing. Oh, I like that. Do it again. Tell them I'm here for another one.
Tell them let's do it again.
Who you know got the power to turn on the switch anytime that they want. We do. Who you know got the energy. I bet I can take it that you know who don't. I'm on the move and better believe I stick to the plan. I got the city behind me, yeah, 'cause they know I'm the man. They know we done been there before. I think we gon' do it again. Oh, I like that. I'm ready to go for the win. Who ready? Tell them let's do it again. Let's do it again. You know what we doing.
We're right back into the action here, friends. Third time is always the charm. Cloud9 going to carry that 1-0 edge as we get into our reset. Minnesota on the defense, though, looking to put together a response right off the get-go.
And already see the adjustments coming in. Geo more active. He says, screw the top windows. I'm going to take gun away from you. They find 3, make it all 4 dead. Now Cloud9 forced to hit the reset, but you got to take your time because players like Nero are going to make your life a living hell.
No, this legitimately is just, let's talk about that break-off again.
Yep.
They want to play towards top. We're going to take away the A zone, and Nero 4-0 start in your base. Shut down by Sib. Estriel right in place to pick up the baton and carry where he left off, and he absolutely will. First shots were good. 3 in a row there for Estriel, but New York will work their way out of spawn.
Yeah, that stalls out a lot of time, though. Now they only have 45 seconds to try to extend the game clock. Still have presence over towards Heli. Geo has not given that up for free. The SMGs are roaming. Nero with the pistol, not able to finish that kill. But Cloud9 now forced to make a decision. We got to go over towards A. They still haven't located where Geo went.
Yep, back. He clears space over through the bottom side at B here. Trying to rewrap this back up again over towards the Minnesota building, but Geo in a spot to once again reduce the numbers for Cloud9. Max still staying alive. Battle now with Nero. Ring around the rosy they go. Sim able to come in to assist, and that will keep the clock pause at 28.4.
Now Cloud9 starting to take over in the slaying department. They're finding every single kill in the feed. Now you have Attach roaming in the back of your spawn. The knife good enough because Kremp was not weak to close out that kill. Effective trade onto Attach, but that second about to be locked.
15 plays 17. Double stack is in. Nero over the top though, finds the double. Second tick does get locked. Nero not done yet though. 3 in a row. Attach able to keep the clean stuff though, again. We've got another pause, it looks like actually on stage. In terms of like the break off, just kind of talk through it once again. Good adjustments from Minnesota. Yes. You know, it's one of those kind of things you just look at and say, yeah, we should be adjusting in the right moves after trying the same break off 3 times in a row.
And that little change right there of just Geo going from top window to gun allows his SMGs to not be shot from that left side at a point. He takes that away from the opposing team. He finds that opening kill, and that's what allows Estriel and Nero to eventually just cause havoc in their spawn. As we unfortunately are coming to another break here, ladies and gentlemen.
Looks that way.
This is just what me and Alan do, Chad.
It's true, yeah.
This is what we do. We're either going game 5s or we're game breaking. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. Call it the curse. Yeah, looks like there is a pretty significant issue still on stage. Okay. It's just one of those things like, I don't know, Jay, let's just step away from this particular map and just talk more about the event. If you're looking at both these two teams, I think it's a little bit, after the minor especially, you look at this Minnesota team, starting in the lower bracket, you think that is probably your best opportunity for a dark horse run because of how strong they've looked. It's just they didn't have the same results that a team like Boston did to get them into the upper bracket. How much do you think change in terms of like who do you see in the lower side of the bracket that started in the lower bracket still alive? You know, talking about your Cloud9s, talking about your Minnesotas. How does that evaluate in terms of like their ability to make a long run here?
Well, the good thing that Minnesota can always bank on, even online, is the fact that they're great at search and destroy. They just need to get more consistent, stop having slow starts in their respawns. And they sort of been able to figure that out here, especially in this series. You actually take the map number 1. On the opposite side for Cloud9, they were just up in the air when we saw them online. It was just, when we talk about that team, it was their consistency in slaying. Their ARs weren't really bringing it. Like, it's as simple as that. The SMGs, you had Mac who's been your shining light the entire time. Kremp had his moments, but the ARs just weren't in sync. But so far on land, it seems like they have sort of figured that out.
No, it really does. And it's one of those things that, again, like, I think there was a lot of conversation. You know, we've had the same conversations as well, talking about this Cloud9 team. Like, if this does not work on land, you got to be thinking there's some sort of a change coming through, because it was a bit of a grueler of a schedule. Allie was talking about that on the desk. I mean, again, there's a lot of heavy hitters in this overall road to the major, but I think it's just matched with the fact that the minor performance didn't look particularly great for them. It looked like there was like kind of a, disconnection between the SMGs versus the ARs,
Yep.
and you needed to see something from Zib here this weekend. So far, he's provided. Is that enough for you to build confidence that this roster can work and get through a Major 2 qualifier stage that is going to have another set of tough opponents in front of you?
Without question, I feel like they will be a lot more prepared for the road to Major 2 than they were for the Major 1 because obviously it was a brand new team.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. You get a guy who took a year off trying to come back in, Kremp, who had a phenomenal year last season, and Itachu obviously didn't make champs last year. He was looking for his roster to get back into the league and eventually try to make champs because he misses that event. But this roster just needed some time. There's teams in the league that are not going to be able to shine as fast like Atlanta Phases or the LADs or even Optic Texas.
Yeah.
You need more time. And for both of these rosters, time is their best friend.
Now, the other side of things, kind of talking from Cloud9 over to Minnesota, there's a lot of familiarity built into these 4 players in terms of how they've played over the course of the last handful of years. I mean, Paul's played for almost every single CDL org, it feels like at this point. And then the time spent in Challengers before they got bumped up for Ezreal and Geo, they had a lot of familiarity with one another. And this led to a very compelling start of the season. Not featured in this was their longer run that they put together in the minor. And I think, kind of on top of that, you also match it up with the fact that that stretch between LA, Toronto, Atlanta, tough. And they did play all 3 teams pretty darn close in that stretch of a couple of weeks.
Yeah, they should have been able to at least force the game number 5 versus LA. I remember like it was yesterday on that red card Hardpoint, but they allowed Envoy to spawn all the way out for free because they were way too aggressive, and they were able to shut them down there at Stage Hill. But in that Ultra Series, they go all the way to the game 5.
Yep.
But then they get blown out in that S&D. Yeah. That catches them off guard. Atlanta FaZe have now flipped the switch, so that's always going to be a tough series. But that loss right there versus Surge really caught me off guard because I was expecting, okay, we're getting to a game 5 Search or Destroy. That's what they've been able to rely on, which is their S&D gameplay. They're falling short there. Had me, like, mixed feelings about this roster going into this event.
It was just one of those things, like, this was a team that they didn't really feel like they had one player that was going to be like their star. They didn't really also feel like they had one mode that was going to kind of carry them through. It was just like they were really working hard and like getting to the grindstone to find the wins that they had. I think in particular we saw that in the minor. But so far, I would say just kind of showing up and being able to get the revenge versus Vancouver in round 1. Strong start here, 2-0 up, even though the maps were tremendously tight. It's just the effort they put together. Starting off hot on the red card, and of course coming back from a 1-5 deficit in the Surge to win the round 11. So that's kind of just another evaluation of these 2 teams. Hope you guys are subscribed to the podcast. We'll be back. We're going to head to a break. Hopefully we'll have protocol control right in the backside of it.
The Esports World Cup is an official partner of the Call of Duty League. Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
Iron Doge does it all now.
Go B.
Unicorn.
Where's this?
I'm on top. He's got to be backside.
Dead.
Maybe backside side. Try side.
What
Nice.
Come on.
Get up. Hey, we got Orange challenge, bro. Go. Let's go. Holy shit.
Boys, go clutch up there.
Boys. Oh, my fault.
I'm gonna do my best not to break down right now. This game changed my life. I was an overweight 15-year-old kid who didn't feel like I had much purpose, and then this game, this community legitimately changed my life and gave me confidence and made me feel like someone. I have my family here today, so I can't think of a better way to say goodbye than on this stage in front of my family. They've made so many sacrifices for me. I mean, my dad was driving me to tournaments anywhere and everywhere. My mom, she flew to Chicago with me for my first ever tournament. And
they sound with a very quick listen in.
Last one, missing Zach, missing Zach. P3, missing Zach. Two boxes. I got you. He told me. No, he didn't get to the left. P2. My bad if I need you. You're good. Go, come weak. There's 3 on 3. The short steps. Short. That's
They're doing the CDL song. No way. Are we about to get started?
Yeah.
Are we about to get started?
One tractor for sure, okay?
Oh, bomb, one shot.
Heard you.
Oh, bomb dead.
Nice, good job.
Oh, bomb dead.
On bomb, one shot. Wall bang. Nice.
More square. Draws on bomb. Give me a sec. One shot dead.
Nice.
Last guy's broken.
Bring me. I'm gonna hop.
He's
still broken.
broken weak on you guys.
Nice.
Is everyone happy? They're mindful. Go A. Yo, next time go A, guys. Yeah, they're gonna get whopping dead. Yeah, nah, this is insane.
Welcome back to Protocol Control. The issue on stage was audio related, and it persisted through our second round. So we're gonna go and do it again. New York still up 1-0. The adjustment we saw was Gio playing down towards God. We're just getting a chess game here, Jay, every time we reset.
So many different breakups so far. They're throwing everything that they have, trying to get through this round. And again, Minnesota Rocker walk away with the majority of those gunfights, so they're already applying pressure into your spawn.
Yeah, Cloud9 not going to be tested off their initial breakthrough. So now it's just down to can you receive, where Minnesota is trying to test from. And Attach gets stuck over towards the top side of the zip line. Crimp right back over towards the B zone, finds a win and then gets to work moving forward.
But Crimp, 7 HP in the dream, trying to finesse, has the knife out, it's not able to connect, so the regen is not going to come in. Still going to be one shot. He gets taken care of. Now 45 seconds to go. Cloud9 have a little bit of presence here towards bottom bunker, but the rest of the team is trapped in their base.
Yeah, Estriel just kind of dancing on the single box. Attach can't quite lock down the shots. Calls for Sim to move on in towards the zone. He also cannot find the player down low. Now we're on the backside. The boat almost gets a turn, but Estriel finessing, staying alive. Attach eventually able to collect the kill he had been working on for the last 60 seconds. But Cloud9 are running out of time here to make this offense come to life.
Gio hasn't died this entire round. Correct. He's just been playing the corner in the spawn, trying to guarantee one kill. All of Cloud9 working this overextension, but they are getting picked one by one by one. Now with 15 seconds left, you don't have a single segment earned to your name. I'm pretty sure if you're Minnesota Rocker, you do have 4 off that first round that you ended up losing. So 5 seconds to go.
And it's not looking good for Cloud9 to get to a zone in 3 seconds. Maybe a chance for one player to jump on into A. No, not gonna happen. Wow, dominant defense here for Minnesota. And that round looks like it should count.
Definitely should. Players have smiles. So don't know that one. Okay, out of the 3 or 4 attempts that we've had at this, finally we were able to make the best one in the last one. They were just dominant in their spawn, man.
Yeah.
Like Cloud9 do not have opportunities. You see the routes that have to be developed by not only the SMGs, but even the ARs to work their way through bottom bunker, try to get themselves out, because they really don't want to deal with a player like Nero, who has that takeover ability in the back of your base.
Yeah, I mean, him and Gio both. I think collectively they died 3 times maybe at most that round. just getting through, finding a corner, making life miserable for Cloud9. So, okay, 1-1 the count. Tick progression, going to favor that of Minnesota, though. As we get onto their next offensive effort. Detached gun down, ranged by Nero. Sim on the other side of the map, though, able to find one for Cloud9, but Minnesota starting to work for some early opportunities towards A. Cloud9, though, trying to get into their building and finding success, being able to do just that.
Yeah, they win the trade fights. Now, how long can you try to be a nuisance in the back of the spawn? You do have one player in Kremp. At least able to find one instantly. The trade is going to be there by the Tatch with the follow-up. Minnesota forced to now take their time.
Yeah, they're absolutely congested towards this backside of the spawn. Paul up top, trying to find something to work with. Gets the first, shots to the second are decent. The pistol will work out. Paul can now stop the clock at 45 over towards the A zone. Simultaneously, Nero's gotten through onto B. Touched it for a moment, but now he's making a play on the backside of tower.
Yeah, Gio also wins the one-on-one versus Kremp towards 10. So now that's everyone accounted for. First segment about to be locked. Paul X, you probably don't want to commit on that chow. You have players to watch over you, but here comes Nero on the pitch.
It's the bailout. It's the bailout between Nero and Gio again. Kremp able to find one before dropping, but Nero on 4 in a row is able to at least keep himself over towards the Cloud9 defense, forcing them to spawn on the top side of the map. So there's going to be continual efforts here for Minnesota to get onto A.
And Nero staying active. He's trying to find a couple more kills. Be more annoying, but the wrap right there from Mac, good enough to take care of him. The segment still being worked on, and Mac flies in and finds 3. Time does not get extended, but we're all tied up in lives.
At the same rate, the progression on A has not been depleted yet, but Mac off of his regen will jump on to get that third tick depleted pretty much in full. Paul able to find Attach, gets at least some control from Minnesota back on towards their building. Nero trying to slip over past this sidewalk position, but Cloud9 have kept themselves relatively covered. 16.8. Nero back onto the zone, threatened by Sib up top. Estriel trying to join him, but Estriel finds the kill, and now they can try to double stack this, but no. Attach to the middle of the map, clears off the zone. 13 seconds to play, and attaches on 3 in a row.
Yeah, big 3 right there from Dill. Now you just want to push out towards Heli, create a different layer. With only 5 seconds left, don't give them an opportunity to even touch. And with all the kills going their way, Minnesota are not going to have an opportunity to extend the game clock. Cloud9 bring it there in the sling. But now they have 6 segments to make up for.
Yeah, which means win an offense.
Win an offense, game over.
Game over. So it would have to be back-to-back offenses, you would think, in case, well, I mean, my memory's not so good. Our math might not be great either, but
no,
I think you're right.
I think I'm right. I promise you, I'm right. They got 4 before the 17th restart, and they just found 2 of them at that A point. So they're currently up by 6.
You heard it here first. If Jay's wrong, blast him on Twitter.
Sorry, guys. But I know my math. I know my numbers.
Love that for you. So that's what we got in front of us, but Cloud9 able to provide that same kind of energy from yesterday. They did win 2 offenses. Can they find a way to do that here? Break off attempt. This is kind of similar to what we had seen in their first effort. Just kind of keeping the focus immediately over towards B. Contest from Minnesota coming through comp side. Estriel gets the double. A little bit of the lineup with Kremp and Sim, and that will lead to Tatch just by himself.
Yeah, that shuts down everything. Estriel, 2 bottom bunkers, able to line up 2 and still stay alive. Now he's already in your spawn. The SMG is being a little bit cautious on the exit. They're trying to double chow everything.
Oh, nice little slide out. Estriel only finds 1. Kremp, oh, not equal to the task. And like you said, all 4 Cloud9 members will drop, leaving to Minnesota, again, just playing corners inside their spawn.
That's all you got to do is just be a nuisance. Allow the game clock to continue to tick away. Oh, Nero to want that one back, but Mac gets the better of him there. So they found the opening to work their way over through Heli. 2 for 2 on the trade split, but 40 seconds. Eventually, you got to work out.
Paul able to back up over towards the staircase at top third. Attach finds him, leading to Cloud9 now gaining re-control of their building. Estriel on the A zone. Nero working on the play through that into the sidewalk as Cloud9 have all efforts over towards the B zone. Pinch timing. How does this look? Nice shot from Sid, backside staircase. Estriel from the ledge though responds. Now down to Paul over to the other side of the stairs. That will work out. Cloud9 have to get out of the zone.
Oh, big double right there from Paul. Now allows that time to continue to tick away. You had Mac get off of that B point. He's all of a sudden now into your grandma's, and Gio's winning up close and personal gunfights with that AR. I feel like every time I'm on Gio's POV, he's so good at winning those fights. It's insane.
It's just the fastest to draw with the AR, even in the face of those Jackals. And now Nero trying to just kill off these last 8 seconds in your spawn. Not quite able to find the second. Cloud9 do have an entryway over towards A, forcing Estriel to have to step up. Finds the first, and shots to attach are good. 6 in a row for Estriel, and Minnesota will completely dominate again on the defense. and they should get that round 5 defensive side as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure the game is not going to allow them to switch teams in the middle of the map. So we might have to come to an end here. Those segments did count before the restart. They should be the team on defense going into this round 5.
Yep. So imagine there will be a back out and a reset of the lobby.
That means my numbers are right. See, tell you, chat. I'm good with math.
Here's the thing, though, dude. You're not wrong. Gio has the ability to snap that in as like no one else, it feels like.
And that's raw talent, man.
Unreal. I don't know if it's just the fact that he snaps it and immediately finds the first headshot almost every single time or what, but wow. And Minnesota's going to play on the offensive side here.
All right, whatever. Let's get it.
Let's go. Okay.
You need to find some early on success in your potential break-off, and they don't find a single kill to go their way. Thankfully, the response there from Gio, just maintaining a power position towards top trips, trying to finesse. This is where he loves to play on this map. Just giving his teammates opportunity to work out of their base.
Trying to find one down
Big
low.
win.
Nice shots from Paul. Couple eliminations. That's now 3 down. Trying to find the 4th. No, Kremp stays alive, but it allow Minnesota to feel free to jump onto the Zay zone and beyond it. Estriel trying to play up in towards barrel side. Long range shots to Mac, not going to work out. Sid able to turn that into a double, and that's only 1 tick of progress for now. Paul trying to force something further, but he's stunned up, and Sid collecting 3 in a row.
Yeah, that's where Estriel just hurts his team right there. You find 3 kills, you want to sort of stack that point, because when you're the player that pushes off the point and you don't find any kills, now you're outnumbered at that A site. So got to make those adjustments going forward if you are Minnesota Rocket to just play more around the team. But Estriel flies on out, only able to find one. Another clean 4 dead for Cloud9.
Yeah, Sib on a heater again, 5 in a row. Off the regen, shots towards Paul, not going to work out. Minnesota working their way out of spawn, 26 seconds remaining. What zone do they want to try to approach? You've got kind of a 2-2 split at the moment. Paul's got entryway over onto A, but the problem is, can you deal with these Cloud9 members in your base? Mac able to find one, but the clock comes to a pause.
18 seconds. Max still slaying towards the top of the side of the window. Sip drops on down to take down Estriel. Mac finds a double. You already spot the last player off the respawn 10 seconds ago. This is looking like a Cloud9 pushing the series.
Yep, 19 plays 10 as well. Even if they get the extra 60, it's going to have to be a flawless run from here.
Wait a minute.
Try to get this life deficit
Wait
down.
a minute.
Wait a second, here it is. That's all 4 dead. They're going to get an extra 60. The life lead is only 6. And you've got a chance here for Minnesota to put a little bit of transitionary pressure over towards B, and Nero's going to get deep over towards Burns. There's the extra minute on the time.
And they're lining up all these kills. Narrow with the turn and burn on the back. Gives them an opportunity to instantly hit that rotation over towards B. Just got to get on it. They currently don't have any bunker control, so that's what's stalling them out.
Nero trying to clear out some space over towards where P2 would be. Kremp down low, though, like you call, towards Cox, able to find the first. Shots from Paul, matched by Attach. Can anyone pinch up on this? Gio's able to get back into the point. There's the first tick of progress. How has this happened? This was a 20 playing 9, and now it's a 13 playing 9. Nero, Estriel, they can try to stack this. They're going to be able to get 2. They get a read over towards Kremp, but they can't quite find the shot. Second tick is locked. Kremp tries to move his way forward. Estriel still staying alive with Nero, and Cloud9, can they get here in time? There's the contention. Kremp with the follow-up from Paul is decent, but Cloud9 will stabilize.
No more respawns. Minnesota Rocket gave themselves a good chance there. Trying to close this out in 3. But with 40 seconds left, someone has to try to develop on a long round, and it's Estriel. He has to be the playmaker.
All you need is 1 break. The lives do not matter when there's only 1 tick available. Estriel pushed off the long route. Nero trying to follow up. Paul finds the first. Nero gets a timing. Oh, Kremp, big win. Estriel trying to find the trade. Tag that range. Kremp inside labs. Finds the shutdown. It's just down to Paul. 1v8, not going to survive through it. And Minnesota gave themselves a chance. I mean, I would have had to figure that that was going to be a round 5 defense for Minnesota, but not the case, and Cloud9 get a map.
Cloud9 gets the map. That's all that matters. They're able to extend this series a little bit longer, but it all comes down to that final play right there at the end. The fact that Kremp takes his sweet time working that super deep pinch around Heli to get behind enemy lines. They get that info when they get 3 dead. They spot Kremp. But then just 1 player off the respawn takes the attention away from Kremp. Just enough time to allow him to fly on from boat, find that 2-piece, take him off of that point, and then just maintain the map after that. Cloud9, stay alive.
If that last effort doesn't just completely personify what this Minnesota Rocker team is,
never out of it, man.
I don't know what else would. I mean, we're talking a 9-life advantage, down to single-digit respawns remaining. Doesn't make a difference, though, at the end. Cloud9, after all the restarts, getting round 5 defense, and they turn that into a map win. Does that change the series at all for you, Jay?
A little bit, because obviously I expected this protocol to be a barn burner. But you had Cloud9 play for the first time yesterday. They were able to walk away with a clean 3-0 with 2 attacking rounds. Minnesota Rocker, they usually tend to go down 0-2 before they start bringing some life. We saw that in the Vancouver series. But now that we're going into another Hardpoint, for Cloud9, this is not really a strong one for them, but the same thing could be said for Minnesota Rocker. They have a 1-4 record going into this protocol HP, but every single time they lose this map, it's basically the same thing we said in map number 1. It's a very, very tight game. They only have a losing margin of about 13 points. So that means if you're Minnesota Rocker, let's just not have a slow start, because that's usually the cause of that.
And legitimately, you can classify the entirety of Minnesota's hard points in stage 1 of just don't go down by 80 points in the first 3 hard points, and you probably end up in the upper bracket. But hey, they were able to do that on the red card. So when you talk about this collective hardpoint map pool being a total record of 1-8 for Minnesota, it may not make much of a difference, because it does feel like versus their series in Vancouver and here to start off this one versus Cloud9, that they are getting things going off their breakoffs. And we're back on protocol, so everyone's going to feel very familiar, obviously, with what is likely going to be a lot of macro rotations as you go from hardpoint to hardpoint.
And even though map number 1 was literally a head bash, I take 50, you take 50, you take 40, I take 40. It was back and forth the entire time. The good thing that Minnesota Rocker did, at least in the first half of that game, was win a majority of their rotation. That's going to be a big thing on protocol, because for Cloud9's sake, they're 10th overall in that category, and they're also 12th in hold percentage. So if you don't allow them to be that team early on, or even if you do, don't really rely on breaks. Let's just be there early.
Yeah, and I think that's the other part about this Minnesota team, is that they're not just scrappy in terms of how they get through the map, but they're also successful largely on finding efficiency in their break attempts. So that could be some of the catalysts for this Minnesota Rocker team to try to close this out. But on the other side, you look at Cloud9 and say, hey, rotate better, trust your setups, let Sim do what he's been doing so far this weekend, and you can start kind of combating some of those weak points in the statistics that we're obviously talking about. It's been a bit of a marathon here for our first series, but no shortage of cinema throughout these first 3 maps. I know everyone's starting to get charged up a little bit here, getting ready for the upper bracket matches to come, but here is a look back at what exactly we have kind of on the line. You know, we talk about being a heavy-handed league. You know what the looks at for FaZe, Optic, Ultra, Thieves in terms of wins. Minnesota, you got to remember, they've been there, they've done that, but it was a long, long time ago.
1,200 days, man. And I remember that series like it was yesterday. Standing in attached, they were on that Minnesota Rocker team versus Ultra, down 0-4 in the grand finals and win 5 maps straight.
It's never chalk.
To secure that championship, Mr. Major Maniac lets them know it's never chalk. But that's a long time, man. 1,200 days, what's that, almost
4 years ago.
4 years ago? Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, that's a long time. Cold War for sure. It's also one of those things, like, you almost forget about that Seattle Surge run that they put together.
Remember that?
That was a hell of a run. Trying to think who else would be up there. Like, LAG's got a major win that you just kind of forget about a little bit.
Yeah, and that was the, what?
That's the Volk. That was the Volk. That was
Sparty MVP.
That was it, Spart Volk.
Dude, we've had a lot of insane stuff happen the last couple of years, man.
One of those things. This year feels like a year where, again, we can have the same situation happen. Optic, top 8. I know that's a bit of a pain spot. Sorry,
Greenwall.
Rub salt in the wound so quickly. But it does feel like this is a league right now where really any of the top 7 teams could beat each other. Maybe even more than that if you want to throw in the conversation with how Optic fared. But it's still like we're learning about what's going on land and how these teams are interacting. In a qualifying stage where we've had more map 5s than ever in the league before, and now some new teams starting to rise up the ranks a touch, it does feel like, looking at the teams that still remain, any of these teams could win. I think there's obviously a lot of weight looking for a potential Atlanta Thieves type matchup, but I'm not sleeping on Toronto, I'm not sleeping on Miami, and honestly, I'm not sleeping on Minnesota at the moment either.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't sleep on Minnesota because obviously they're finding success in their map 1s. Their S&D is great. S&D wins a championship, so it should give you an opportunity to make a deep run here at the tournament. But I think that Miami series, beating Optic the way that they did, taking both hardpoints, like the confidence it does for the team, knowing that they went all the way to a game 5 where they usually crumble, they were able to dominate and have a masterclass. You saw great clutches out of Lucky, great start off from Meadows. He starts off with map with the ace, so just one series, one set of kills, or a little bit of time is all you really need to change your entire game.
And it's one of those things, you're in Madrid,
hometown.
Who knows what this crowd is going to side with, especially when Optic's out of the picture early. It's always interesting to see what the allegiance starts to shift with our crowd. And on the other side of things, hey, I don't want to rule out Cloud9. You put together a reverse sweep, who knows what could happen. Here's a look back at how the red card went. And again, it was tremendously tight, like you kind of talked about, exchanging of, I would say just kind of 30 here, 30 there for both these two teams. It gives us near parallel lines through our first 2 sets of rotations. A bit of a surge for this Cloud9 team when they went from 3 to 4. Got them into the lead, but late game heroics again for Minnesota had them at a narrow edge. So what can they find here in the protocol? I think again, the big macro focus is who's going to rotate better, because Cloud9 were really struggling early on getting to money hills with good setups.
The biggest thing, especially on a map like Protocol, where we know that P4 is going to be a full 60 when you're the team properly set up in it. The P3 to P4 chain is also a big part of a lot of success here. But also just not losing track of players. We've seen it so far in both of the respawns. Mac tends to get lost at times. Same thing could be said with Estrio and Nero. Even Kremp. Like, all those guys are those have those playmaking abilities. Just now with the pressure, now at the all-time high, you win a go-home situation, and make sure you do it on point.
Again, there was history here between these two squads. They had played at the beginning of the year, and it was one of those moments where, like, again, New York had a really poor start to their series, or their season, and then they come out and they beat a scrappy Minnesota team that was 2-0 at the time, and you start to say, okay, you know, we had one of their calls from week 1, and we said, like, this Cloud9 team was just missing an identity. They didn't really know exactly what roles they wanted. It was kind of weird seeing Mac and Kremp, how they were passing the baton between each other as SMGs, who was going to lock things down as the ARs. They came out, it looked really solid. I think in particular that Skyline Hardpoint was like a staple of, okay, these guys, this is what we expected to see. Ice in the map too. It felt like Cloud9 were on the right track again, but it was a momentary thing. It only really lasted for this series, and they fall back down again, kind of had the same issues. And I think then you start to shift the focus not just to how is this 4-man roster working, but that's when the spotlight started to move specifically on towards Sid, because his numbers were not looking particularly great. But now you get to land, he has that. So can this Cloud9 team find a way to battle back against Rocker and continue on this lower bracket run?
They definitely have an opportunity, man. Even maps that they have played for the very first time at this weekend, they have been looking great on it. So far, 2-0 on that protocol control. 3-0 victory yesterday, 3-2 victory today. So they have been able to figure out those maps that they have yet to play, at least so far this weekend. So I'm pretty sure we are getting close to game ready. I know this has been a really long series, but I'm excited to see how this one went.
I mean, based on what we've seen so far, it's going to continue to be barn burners. Hey, these have been photo finishes across the board to this point. So what do we get as we load back into a Protocol Hardpoint? Get locked, get loaded. Let's get some energy here in Madrid. Get this all kicking off. As we look back over the records, has not been a particularly strong map for either of these two teams, but to be 1-4 and to only have an average losing margin of 13 points goes to show how tight Minnesota has played this map in the past.
Yeah, they play these games very, very tight. Saw it in map number 1. They couldn't find a victory on red card. They turned it around there. But into the map number 4 for Rocker. Trying to close out this series now. Cloud9 tried to extend it. They start off on the preferred side, 4v1, but the nades connecting, the pressure's there. Cloud9 instant break.
Yeah, great patience from Cloud9, making sure they've got the full read of the land before they try to dive onto the hard point. And with that 3 down, now some significant time starting to be earned from Cloud9 here on P1. Not making motion yet over towards the P2 side of the map. They're still focused on what they can win over the middle, and it's working out beautifully. Kremp off to a 4-0 start. Mac right there with them, and this is a beautiful P1 from Cloud9.
Yeah, they got him locked in, man. Only 20 seconds. Minnesota, no, we can't attack from sidewalk. We had to take some mid-gun control. But Kremp already on 5 in a row. He's reading the pressure on him, and he's not slowing down. Making 6. Needs another couple if he wants to try to earn this Hellstorm, but he's gotten a read on where they are.
Yeah, tough battle in front of him here. Oh, it just goes to the panic melee. So shut down at 6, but Cloud9, 44 points off the first hill. You don't see that often. Attach, Mac working together into P2. Minnesota suffering here as Sid can watch at mid. Attach getting a read on where this hit's coming from, and he's finding kills in the same moment. How about Attach, Dylan Price? Woo-hoo-hoo, mercy.
Oh, Cloud9 coming out swinging, man. They're trying to force this game 5, and Minnesota Rocker again having a slow start into this hard point. They only have a combined 7 kills, and we're already on hill 2. Finally, Gio with that double could potentially stop the bleeding here as you get him off the time for now. A Mac responds with 2. He has Estrio weak. Gonna go for the ego chow, but the pistol not good enough. Rocker still holding.
Yeah, big moment here for Minnesota. clean feed. You get some decent scrap time, and now with these exits coming quickly, you can start to make a move over towards P3. Estrel surprised as a long route comes through from none other than Attach. We know he's going to be locking down the spawn as best as he can, but on the hill, Nero secures the scrap, and we got a 40-point game.
But at least one player from Cloud9 is now going to spawn all the way across the map. Geo has to make this pitch count. Is going to get red, at least finds one. Keeps the numbers in a 3v3, but Cloud9 trade out more effectively. They secure the back spawns. Last player in is going to be Paul Lex. Now Cloud9 can run it up.
Love it. You win the spawns, you win the initial time. Now you can start to bump the hill just a touch. Estriel and Geo, team working out the backside at Sidewalk, putting focus into Mac on the interior. He's just going to hold down the front door, only able to find one. Attach following up, though, on 4 in a row. Trophy system to reinforce the hard point, and the spawns are still decent. Just comes down to getting a read of where Minnesota are hitting from, and it's all coming from the front.
A team who struggles in rotation and a team who struggles in hold percentage. They are completely turning it around here. 20 seconds still to fight for here at P3, but we got to start thinking ahead. You're already going to send one player off the rotation and Kremp. Everyone is going to contest that hold because they know they have the numbers. This jump time is massive, and we have players in the proper positions.
Kremp at new, good for the first. Mac with him, and the SMGs for Cloud9. Get some ground to work with here at Computers. Minnesota have to hit through all. Moment here for Nero. He opens up for one, but Attach switches to the SMG, and now he's in the picture with Cloud9 fully set up and ready to go for the 4th hill.
Yeah, we saw Attach do this on red card, especially for that staircase hill. Gotta expect it here at Bunker. Now all the nades getting invested. Not a single trophy system on the side of Cloud9. Has everybody weak. Allows Minnesota to take advantage of it. 3 for 2, make it 3 for 3 trade. But Geo comes out on top. Now they're in.
Resets on both weapons. Now checking to see where Cloud9's hitting from. Paul trying to zone up top at Spiral. Down to 7 HP, immediately dealt with. Now Cloud9, 4v2 situation. Geo trying to hold from the back. Nice little slide out moment. He's clean for the first. Trying to re-wrap by Cloud9. They can't track down Geo. 3 in a row. Can he get all 4? Oh my goodness. 16-9, and Geo has Minnesota looking friendly here for the back 10.
The kid's got talent, man. AR, SMG does not matter. He's got that gunny on him. Now Minnesota sort of keeping himself now into this game. Big jump time there at the end of P4 for that final 30. But now we're back over towards the P1 where Cloud9 were able to get 45 seconds here. Early contest from Nero's not going to allow them to do that.
And now he can try to hit routes. This is great time for Minnesota. 45 seconds to fight for. Cloud9 working on both sets of buildings at the same time. Kremp kicks it off with a win, but Nero shuts down Sib on the other side. And now it's just back down to the middle of the map. Kremp shut down. Minnesota, good wipe here, can get the back into the hard point time.
And they flip the spawns as well. Force all of Cloud9 to try to break over through Grandma's. You have one player going on the route in Sib. Love this. He's going to flank over towards the Zip. But Geo is usually never caught off guard. He plays his timing and he finds that kill. They were waiting for that pinch to develop to try to take him off of that point, but he gets nothing. Final 15 going to go in favor of Minnesota Rocket. They're right back in this game.
Doesn't this map, for all you CDL gurus out there, feel like the Minnesota Hacienda? You've got Paul at 3 and 11, but Nero and Geo are just running around rampant on this Cloud9 team, getting the back to within 20 points. Paul finds his 4th elimination, averaging less kills per hard points than we've had hard points, but doesn't make a difference. Minnesota are still chipping away at this lead.
Yeah, Paul has just got to turn it around because his teammates are starting to get activated. It's already 3 dead in the feed. You're controlling Cloud9 and consistently spawning on the backside of tower. Estriel with the ego. Chow, give me that one on to Mac. Now all his job is to just continue to be a nuisance.
Damage onto Kremp does get traded, but gets a read on how Cloud9 are exiting their spawn. Forces Paul to make a move up towards top tower. Surprised by Mac just a touch, but the kill still comes through. Nero in the hard point follows up. Attached, left alone on top ledge. Cloud9 trying to reinforce this, but Minnesota takes the fight straight to them. It's only a team kill that comes through, and Paul has turned it around since P1. He's on 5 in a row as Minnesota take the lead.
And Cloud9 tried to work their way out now, but they all get cut off on the process. So Minnesota Rockets still in control of the spawns. Big gunfight win right there from Paul to secure it. Now they're going to allow themselves to win the rotation over towards new. This second half of the game, Minnesota have been able to flip the switch. They take the lead, and now they can try to pull away.
And in that stretch, Paul did earn a Hellstorm thanks to just about every single one of his eliminations coming on the hill. Estriel from the high ground falls on into the lap of Kremp. No worries there as Minnesota get all 4 down again, and Cloud9 look dead in the water right now.
They're just dropping all at the same time. They're finding all the kills in sync. That's making it easier for Minnesota Rocket to put their focus on the front. Every player accounted for. Still 30 seconds to fight for here. They have yet to even get close over towards this P3. This hold is flawless so far from Rocker.
Can't find anything. New York just keeps getting caught one by one. They're trying to find these little pinches, but Minnesota just have such a good zone around the hard point. They're getting reads onto it. There's a back and forth pinstripe kill feed. Sim maybe trying to find entry, but doesn't want to challenge without the support of his teammates. Only 10 seconds left. They're setting up for new.
Got to cut your losses. And now this is where Minnesota Rocker need to rely on their break percentage, which is really well on this protocol. Players developing on routes. You find yourself up by 60. This one has to be perfect. Get your trophies down. Don't allow that open to kill the goal of the opposing wing. Paul X starts it off.
And now there's confusion. You don't know if Minnesota's hitting from the front or if they're hitting through spiral, and what you know is both at the same time. Sim can only find one. Mac trying to dance, but it's Estriel and Paul who go a 3v2 situation. Now it's down to Kremp. He knows he's got a couple of players low, but Paul will throw a couple of shots and keep Minnesota in the hill for now.
Yeah, they can't win it here, but they can get pretty damn close. Cloud9 know we got to contest this. We got to get in and got to get in quickly. Narrow with the double. Instantly shuts down that push. Paul X, it's about to be your time to strike. Now that you're in a 1v2, can you get some done? The first one's a freebie. The movement good enough for the second. Paul X started off with only 4 kills. He's at 15 and 14 now.
And he's still holding on to the Hellstorm. Scrap time looking decent here for Cloud9, and boy, do they need it. Geo, teammate tried to give this a go, and why not? He's got the hot hand. Pistol out, Estriel working with him, and Estriel will finish it off. Again, the timing between Estriel and Geo has been superb, and now Paul from inside the scrap time to give his team his advantage with the Hellstorm.
Just gonna keep him off of that point for now. No trophies down, so no one's gonna try to play that position, but Mac is gonna fall. All information gained now. If you are Minnesota Rocker, you know where the pressure's gonna be. You know who you were looking for as they find 2.
Paul on his way out from P4. Gun up, finds Mac. And now with numbers, they can take their focus over to B1. Contest is in. Ball behind the play though, finds one. Now to the AR, has Kremp in the top window. Shots through though, has Sim through mid-map, allowing Cloud9 to keep the numbers and the mid-map control. They're back in the hill.
Yeah, Cloud9 need all this time right here. You need to trap them in towards the backside. You do have one player in Estriel already developing on a route. Freebie onto the first. And now you have to turn around and put focus on him if you are Cloud9, but they're more focused on the front. Estriel makes them pay for it. A clean 4 dead. You still can't win it here at P1, but you can't give up this time.
That route from Estriel doesn't just win back to Hardpoint, it also flips the spawns around getting ready for P2. Desperation moments here for Cloud9, trying to stave off elimination, but Estriel is not allowing it. He comes back top window. Geo, the 1v1 and new will work out. Has someone's got to touch, it's got to be Sid. He jumps on in for the first, but Estriel still alive on 6 in a row. Ah, the gunny almost able to shut down Mac. Paul trying to force it, shut down. Cloud9 stay alive.
And I love this play right here from Geo. He knows, guys, we're up by so much. All we need is one break opportunity, so I'm going to go for this long route. Catch them off guard, catch them off guard for 2. Now you have the numbers, the break should be in.
Kremp trying to hang on, not able to do so, and the break does come through. Minnesota, a slow start, but a hot rotation through the second set. Has Minnesota looking mighty fine as they take down Cloud9 and move forward in the lower bracket.
Man, you can always rely on Geo to get his kills, man. Protocol might be his best friend. He understands the timings, he understands his positioning. And then even when he needs to whip out that SMG at some points, he's still able to make a couple flashy plays. He was the MVP in the series yesterday. He was the MVP in the series today for me as well.
I agree.
He's just been a takeover AR, but that turnaround from Paul X was the difference maker.
Agreed.
He only had 4 kills when we already got to that 5th hill. He goes on 5 in a row, a teammate takes over him, but thankfully you were able to earn that Hellstorm, and then just switching from that AR to the SMG allowed him to get more confident with his gunplay. And Minnesota Rocker, again, don't go all the way to the distance. That's 2 series back-to-back, but they get it done in 4.
And they look so good across, I think, all 3 modes, too, which is, I think, the most important part about it. Again, I don't really know what happens there in the control, but it doesn't really make much of a difference because they actually give themselves a chance to win it there in the control regardless. But that followed up by a slow start here in map number 4, immediately countered. Geo goes 35 and 20, and look at the spike. I mean, we go from 65 points to 196 while only giving away about 15 seconds to Cloud9 through 4 hills.
Told you it was that second half of the game. Minnesota Rocker are infamous for starting off slow into these series. But once they got over to that little break there at P4, 40 seconds there at P1, another 30+ seconds there at P2, a full 60 at P3.
Yeah.
Cloud9 just needed to take their time, man. Getting picked apart one by one. Long routes are not developing to kills or even the plays that you wanted. But Minnesota Rocker, just a better team today.